It's in the Ghost 20 Modern if somebody else wants to do the recap.
And we're live.
Hello, and welcome back to Dresden Files. This is Season 2, Episode 3. It's Obstacles. I have cool big plans for tonight. I hope that we hit them the way that I think that we're going to hit them. And if we don't hit them that way, it's going to be an obstacle for me. So, if none of you guys want to do the recap for last time, I can do it. Any volunteers?
I know I got a new pet.
You did. What'd you get?
His name is Raza, and he is a nightmare.
He is a dragon turtle anglerfish. That is right. All right, well, we'll start at the top of the recap. We did last time on episode 2, something got loose from a cargo container at the wharf that killed a bunch of wharf employees. And then early in the morning, 3 a.m., Thomas's teeth buzzed him awake. In his house, there was an entity outside threatening him, and his prized crepe myrtle was attacked in his yard by the mysterious smoke/flame creature. Redicus showed up and came up with a brilliant plan to find the mysterious attacker using a tracking spell. And after some early morning coffee, you guys headed to Trinity Solutions to utilize your witchy employees. You walked in to discover one of those witches, Katie Holmes, crying at her desk. And then Beth Darkbrew, the other witch, arrived before Redicus could really discover what had Katie so upset. But when Beth was hugging Thomas, Redicus noticed a H symbol on the back of her neck. You guys got the witches to come up with a seeking spell, and it targeted that strange smoke creature, and then talked to Harold briefly, and found out that something was stealing Kevin's out of the Kevin cloner and all of Harold's magic. So then you guys got a call at Trinity Solutions office by the Black Diamond, the member of the Discarded and property owner. He called in the attack at the wharf, and Hopper and a team of Tactic Kevins deployed to the wharf. And you guys headed off with the tracking spell to find the flame creature. And then you guys did a quick triangulation, determined that the creature was actively warding you, and led you guys back to the wharf because I'm a bad GM and didn't figure that out. So you guys did some wharf crime scene investigation and figured out that the dead wharf employees were killed by a many-legged creature with jaws like a shark. The Black Diamond, your patron employer, he showed the container shipping manifests to the players, and that sea container belonged to a man from Wyoming, named Tommy Boothby. Hold on one second. All right, so you guys walked around the wharf to find any creatures that could be lurking inside all the other shipping containers, and found a dragon turtle anglerfish that Thomas mentioned before. It had been sprung from its container, and the dragon turtle anglerfish was leased by Thomas's friend Frank Doyle. You guys determined that turtle angler was not the vicious monster that killed all the other wharf employees, and Thomas figured out how to communicate it using flashing lights and put it back into its container. You found the vicious monster after that, the tardigrade white. Thank you, David. And fought it. And during the fight, you guys determined that tardigrade white had Vanta black ooze blood that helped regenerate health and keep it alive. So Redicus called Harold during the fight and had Harold turn off the Kevin magic, and you guys killed the creature while it couldn't heal. Then you called up Frank Doyle, Thomas's buddy, from the board of directors, and set up a meeting at the Nine Realms. And Frank showed up with his buddy John Kepler, and Kepler's creature, a DMT-inspired, trippy, and infinitely changing geometric kaleidoscope. During the meeting, Frank confirmed that was his dragon turtle. It is his creation, and its name... Thomas, what was his name again? Ramoras?
Razzo?
Razzo, that's what it was. Perfect. And Frank provided the Vanta Black magical healing ooze for many of the Cybersucha scientists for this upcoming Dark competition. When asked why the Cybersucha was creating these monsters, Frank tells you guys that the board of directors met with the Summer Queen a few years back and was told ominously that something from the Never Never is going to attack imminently. So you guys convinced Frank that his whole line of science was folly and put many lives at risk, and Frank agreed and decided to put an end to the dangerous Cybersucha. So he told you guys that he found a dark black thread years ago with healing properties, and he was using a lab outside of town to replicate it. And then he gave you guys keycard access to that lab, and you headed out there and blew it up. And you guys fought like the big old root monster out there and found a scientist out there named Riley who was a complete asshole. And he used yellow and blue portal technology to get away. And then Redicus triggered his C4, a massive explosion rocked the area, and the lab turned to so much dust and debris.
And we have a new security expert.
Yes. Remember his name?
Kevin?
Jed.
You sure it wasn't Kevin?
Yeah, I'm sure it was Jed. Let me give you guys a Jed. There we go. All right. So we usually start these things.
Can I have Thomas back? I shot him into the GM zone.
Oh.
Never gets old.
Is this him?
It looks like
That's
him. It looks like him. It's too big. It looks like him.
I think the other Thomas had a 1-2 shift, and I don't see him in here. That's weird.
Did I shoot him into a container? That'd be hilarious.
I think so. There's no container. Nope.
That must be him then.
Cool. I'll fix it later. All right, so let's start this whole thing with the Raven shot. The Raven camera is flying over Neutroit Stadium, which I couldn't find a good place for Neutroit Stadium on the map, so I don't know exactly where to put the pin. If you guys could think of a place that would be a good spot for a stadium in the city, and I'll put a pin there. Maybe like here. Just call this.
All right, man. I'm almost done. Just I got excited.
It'd be right here next to the strip club. That's a great spot.
Oh yeah, this is the strip club pin, but that was for the Neutroid Stadium. The actual strip club is over here.
Even better.
In Lowtown. So we got a good spot for the Neutroid Stadium. So our Raven camera is flying down through Neutroid Stadium, and I'm going to bring it up on the map here, or on the screen for everybody. So immediately surrounding this stadium is a firm bubble of opaque force. It perfectly encompasses the entire stadium, and it looks as though it could stop missile strikes. Goodness. Just inside the stadium, large towering electric coils are active and emit spikes of electricity. And there's hundreds of large trucks, vans, and shipping containers gathered around the parking lot outside. And our Raven camera gets close to a large check-in table outside the stadium. There's a long line of people standing in queue, and the table is perfectly bisected by the force field bubble out front by this like U-shaped, horseshoe-shaped thing. If you still got it up on the screen, it's just above the N on the compass north. So there's like this bubble in the gray area, the dark gray area surrounding the field and the sections. That's your bubble zone. So there's a table, it's bisected perfectly, and a flushed-looking rotund woman in a yellow polo sits on one side of the table inside the bubble, her chubby fingers clenching a pen and a clipboard. There's a bread box-sized machine in front of her on the table, sticking halfway between the opaque force field and the air outside. So without looking up from her clipboard, she addresses the man standing in front of the line. She says, "Ticket." And a man in a three-piece emerald green suit and crazy hair comes up to the table and presents a ticket. The ticket is thick and it crackles with electricity as the man puts it into the machine. And the rotund lady looks at the machine screen and she says, "Name?" And he says, "I am Carl Gauss." And she says, "Creation's name." And he says, "I have created the moose bear." She says,
Oh,
"DNA sample." So he pulls a vial of red blood out of his jacket and he puts it into a slot on the machine. And the round lady looks at the screen again and she says, "Do you need to be unloaded?" He says, yes, I do." She says, "Beautiful. Take these tokens for you and your competition submittal. Keep it on your person and your creation at all times. You can pass through freely." And the lady pushes a button on the machine, and after a second of whirs and gears, the machine spits out 2 purple discs on the man's side of the bubble. They're about the size of a coaster. So Carl Gauss puts both discs inside his vest, and he walks through the bubble and into the dark competition. Let me, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to show you Carl Gauss so that you've got a good idea of what he looks like. But you didn't see, or the Raven didn't see the moose bear yet. This is Carl Gauss. I've put him on the road here and behind the van. I am pretty proud of this image. I gotta say, the AI went really good on that one. Carl Gauss with the moose bear.
What is it with eyes in this AI?
Oh, I'm so glad they got fingers kind of right. But yeah, eyes. Eyes are weird.
I'm gonna need to Photoshop all of your eyes for your creations here.
The moose bear.
fucking Wisconsin.
Okay,
I'm surprised he didn't say cat dog.
Well, there's what, 300 scientists? Somebody's gotta have a cat dog. All right, so you guys, this is a continuation of last time. You guys are driving back to New Detroit in the Trinity Solutions van. You've got Jed, the security officer, in there with you. And behind you guys is a billowing mushroom cloud of the refinery laboratory going up in flames and smoke. But good guys don't look at explosions behind them. So you guys are just cruising down the road.
Jeb is just staring out the back window.
Yeah, Jed's
Yeah,
staring
Jeb
at
is
the
just
back.
full on staring out the back window, like, what the hell? We're like,
Yep.
what? There's nothing.
See, Victor's driving and he's not even that cool. He's like, guys, I can't see it. Is it good?
So you guys are cruising down the road, and bring. It's Thomas's cell phone. It's his wife.
What's going on?
Hey, I went to wake up. It's Rachel, right? Rachel's the daughter, and Rebecca's the mom. I'm pretty sure. All right,
Rebecca's the daughter, Rachel's the mom.
oh shit. Okay.
Awkward.
Yeah, my bad. All right, so I went to get Rebecca up for the day, and there was something in bed with her. Thomas, do you have anything to tell me?
Super awkward.
Did
She-
you get Rebecca a cat?
No, not at all.
Okay, then we are now the owners of a really cute orange tabby.
Have you looked at it real special like?
Real special, like? Oh, you mean like on your side of the? No, I didn't even. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. You don't think this is a regular cat?
I'm
A regular cat. It's just sitting in. She says that she found him and brought. Like, I thought you might have gotten the cat. You don't know anything about this cat.
I don't.
Okay. Well, it's got a collar. Its name is Floyd. What should I do? Should I try to take it away from her?
Not at all. If she loves it, she loves it. You know I can't say no to our 16-year-old daughter.
If it's got a collar, someone owns it.
Yeah, did she get the collar? Where did she get its collar?
I haven't really talked to her about it. Okay. I'll do that. We'll talk, I guess. And I'll call you back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a cat bed and some food, maybe.
Yeah. I guess we can give it tuna until you get cat food. Yeah, I think.
Cats like milk, right?
Actually, I read that you don't give adult cats milk. I don't know. Cats like milk. I'll give it milk.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up.
All right. Love you. Bye. And
Love
you
you
guys
too.
pass some fire trucks responding to the explosion on the way to Detroit. Just loud sirens as you're going. And do you guys usually listen to the radio while you're cruising, or is it just silence and talking between you guys?
Sure, we listen to music. It's probably polka if Thomas is in the front seat.
You got Poco on one channel and like a police scanner on the other. So you would never not want to listen to the police scanner.
I was about to say the police scanner's always on. That's
Okay.
it comes in over top of the radio.
Give me a intelligence check, all of you.
All right, Dice. Look, you and me have had some misgivings in the past, but we're gonna be friends now. That was not the answer I was looking for. I got a 2.
Ew.
I got a 1, and considering I have a 0, that's impressive.
I got a 2.
Okay. Well, it would occur to some of you that the explosion is now a mile and a half behind you, and there's a lot of smoke this way. Like, there's no way that there should be this much smoke out this far. But you can smell it smells like burning oil, really. And at first maybe you thought it was a car next to you or behind you, burning oil, but it's not. And there's a bit of smoke starting to come through the air vents in the front of the van, the AC vents. It's wisping in, opaque, but more and more is just filling.
We're gonna need to stop and get some NBC going on.
I'm gonna roll down my window.
So instead of the smoke coming out of the window, more kind of comes in the crack of the window and starts to pour inside of the van.
Yeah, that was genius.
I'm gonna take a quick look and see if this is the same smoke that I saw earlier.
It looks very similar and is acting similar to the wharf smoke.
I'm looking with my special look.
Okay. So when you look with your special look,
Yep.
this smoke seems to be made of... Oh, okay. So when you're looking at it, there are denser portions of it, lines almost, that form elongated finger-shaped that are attached to hand-shaped swirls that are attached to elbow and arm and shoulder-shaped swirls. When you look at it, it looks like a person has been stretched to a gaseous form. it looks like a Rorschach that may have a person somewhere in the form.
I tell who's driving, Redicus?
Yep.
I tell
Yeah,
Redicus to stop the car.
I
This isn't.
I already did that. I did that the very first thing.
Oh yeah, we need to get out of the car. That is remember I told you that smoke monster?
Actually, Thomas saw it first.
Okay, well, I told you about that smoke. I'm just gonna stick with my story. Remember I told you about that smoke monster? So this is that.
Can I see edges of this smoke monster? Like, does it go out a certain length and then stop?
No, it's filling up the inside of the van now, and the van is getting very hot. You guys just break into a sweat.
I'm no longer in the van.
Okay.
Unless this has happened very, 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 very quickly. I would.
Yes, I mean, like, you're slamming on the brakes and it's getting hot.
Okay.
And you open up the car door and you go to open it and it's not opening. There's like a force pushing from the other side, keeping you into the van. You want to give me a strength roll to try to force the door open? Or it's a force aspect roll. Thomas, what do you want to do? You've broken into a sweat. It's bleeding off of your nose. It's now 100 and something degrees inside this van.
I got the window down. I'm gonna try to jump out that window.
All right, give me a. That sounds like it's a. What kind of aspect would that be?
Haste.
Haste, yeah. Trying to get the fuck out of there quickly.
Ooh.
Temperature's climbing by the second. Malcolm, what is your plan?
I'm gonna start making a whirlwind, spin the hammer, and gathering all that smoke up.
You're doing this in the back of the van?
Oh no, I got out of the van. I may not have said that, but I did.
Okay. You can't get out of the van without rolling a force check because the doors are being forced closed.
I will roll a force check.
Please do.
Here goes my van.
How'd your force check go, Redicus?
-3.
Okay.
All right, well, it's not gonna be that.
He's
much
like,
better.
Yeah, I'd imagine Redicus is shoving his elbow and the shoulder against the door, trying to get it to open, and it's budging, like it's sticky, like it's moving and opening. You're holding the handle open and you're budging at the door a little bit, but it is being pushed from the outside.
I got a 5.
All right, just straight up 5. So I'm imagining you're Spartan kicking the back doors open to get out the back of the van, and you kick them open and they open immediately, and a lot of the smoke immediately outside the van that was holding these doors in gets pushed backwards. So just for a brief moment, you're gonna have just a big circle around the back of the van that's just it's not filled with smoke. It's completely clear air, and you step out into that. You are surrounded, mister, by just a wall of thick white smoke. You can't even see past it, and it's it's surrounding you on all sides and over top of you.
All right. I'm gonna start doing the whirlwind thing.
All right, added Thomas's
I got a
Haste.
+5.
Okay, so you slip out of the window. It's like the smoke is more worried about holding the door down instead of just keeping you in with like some wall of force inside the van. But you get your body out first, and your legs, you can feel your legs just, they're so heated up. It's 250 in there now. Like you're crawling out of an oven, and you hit the ground on the outside. You're on your feet because you got a 5. Pretty quickly, you just rolled out of there. All right, so you see the same thing. It's a wall of smoke around you. It's obscuring your vision. The air out here is not much cooler than the air inside the van. you feel like this wind from Malcolm's hammer as it's swirling around. Jed's like, "Oh my God, what's going on, guys?
I'm relatively certain if the air in there is 250 degrees, he's not doing that. That you may have set a bit high of a number.
200 degrees? That's oven temperature.
Yeah, you can't breathe in that temperature. I don't think.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty sure he's right. Like there's a very finite temperature degree in which humans are.
That's bad news for you, Redicus. What kind of move do you want to get out now?
I think.
How do you want to do this?
All right, we're gonna stretch imagination because in reality I'm dead. But I'm gonna have to shoot the window and climb out like Thomas did.
Oh, I like that idea.
Which is gonna make me sad because it's my van, but that's why I hesitated so long.
We've got two good mechanics.
Still like shooting, your car.
Yeah. It's my car. It's not just my car. It's like my mobile forensics device / armory / workbench.
Your car doesn't just grow back every day?
No.
Like every morning, it just doesn't come back full strength, like 100%?
Can I invoke high caliber?
Yeah, if you think you need it.
I do, 100%.
Okay.
That gives me a 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you smash out your driver's side window, and you start crawling out. So you're going to be in a similar situation as Thomas on this side, where the smoke has surrounded the van, and you're not going to be able to see beyond that. Okay. Smoke's turn. It's going to kill Jed. So
yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, just starts screaming inside as his body just ignites.
You dick.
Don't you burn my upholstery, you bastard!
Well, you said there's chemicals and stuff in the back of there.
There's that van is going to explode if you go that route.
I think I'm gonna go that route. Actually,
okay. Whole party's dead. Let's roll new characters.
Oh come on, trust me, it's okay.
I'm practically bulletproof.
Yeah.
You guys are dead. Oh no. What's his name will make it?
Mithril, help me out here.
Yeah, he'll make it. Wait. If Kizik's character dies,
can you have the armor? That's what I knew. I knew you were gonna say that.
If I die, can I play the armor?
Yeah, there you go. That's how we do this.
I don't want the armor anymore.
Yeah, that cod piece is never coming off.
I know about Dick Justice. I'll keep you safe.
All right, yep. Jed is screaming and burning inside. He's rolling around, and you hear some thumping in there. He's not having a good time. Let's go with... I'm going to say Redicus. Redicus, you can start this next round. What do you want to do?
Once again, I'm going to ask this question because you didn't really answer it last time. Can I see an edge of this smoke monster? Like, how much space? Is it like the whole map, or is it just the van?
So you can't see past it. It is made of blanket, basically, just surrounding this van.
Okay.
So you could try to run through it if you wanted to.
I do want to. I want to see if I can go a little bit of ways and see if I come out the edge of it, or I want to see if it has a finite limit.
Right on. All right, which direction do you want to go?
Just forward.
Off the road?
Yeah, just forward. I can't really see where I'm going, so...
Yeah. All right, so give me a roll. I think it's intelligence, or you want to do this quickly? It's haste.
Let's use intelligence, because that, it's the only way. I hate these dice. These dice hate me, I guess would be more accurate to say. I'm an investigator. I'm gonna, this is an investigation. I'm gonna do that, and that's gonna give me a 5.
All right, yeah. When you slammed on the brakes of the car, you realize that this is the road is kind of in a gully or a valley, so you want to get higher ground. You're gonna run uphill. So, with your eyes closed, you climb through the smoke, and you end up on the other side. And on the other side, you're uphill, and like the tree line and you can see just this. It looks like this massive just cloud is sitting on top of the van. It is finite, but it's huge.
How huge is huge? Football field?
No, I mean like it's this size. So what? Semi truck, tractor trailer, 100 feet long by 70 feet.
Oh, that's actually quite manageable. Okay, I'm gonna try a thing. Obviously, I won't get to it this turn. I'm gonna grab a stick and I'm gonna start running in a circle around the outer edges of the smoke monster, dragging it in the ground, drawing a circle.
Yeah, I love this plan. It's an intelligence plan. Good job. All right, who do you want to go next?
I would like to give. Jeb's already dead, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if he's dead, we're gonna go with Thomas. I was gonna give him a chance to climb out if he was alive.
Let's do it. Let's give him a chance to climb out because the dice it didn't say it killed
That's because I didn't roll them.
him. I was gonna flip a coin and then I was like, nah, that's 50-50. All right, Jed actually rolled pretty well. So Malcolm, behind you, you feel this wet weight that just rolls out of the back of the van and hits you in the back of the legs.
Look at it.
He has got second and third degree burns over most of his body, but he is breathing. He's
All right.
moaning pitifully.
He'll probably survive.
All right, I think Redicus said it was going to be you next.
All right, so I want to gather the smoke monster. I want to start sucking it up with the whirlwind and trying to contain it.
Yeah, give me a force roll, and I'm going to oppose it with my force.
All right, I am going to. I'm going to use divine power because this is a good time for that.
Yep, because I got an 8.
All right.
Figured we just start this episode off with the big bag.
The whole stadium full of big bads.
Good old ambush.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. All right, so that's a shift of 2 against you. I'm gonna make an aspect here for my big bad, and
The scale was still otherworldly, right?
yes, he is otherworldly. What's above otherworldly?
Legendary.
No, he's legendary.
Then his opposition is lowered.
By 1.
Matching mine, so yes.
Okay, so then it's a shift of 1. So he's gonna win this contest anyway. So you're not going to be able to gather him up, and you're going to take 1 stress. That's how we're going to do this. From the heat. Who do you want to go next?
We will have Jeremy go next. Thomas.
Get him, Thomas.
So I'm staggering around. There's smoke everywhere. I jumped out of a window and I think I did a front flip, and I'm really cool about that. And then I feel my chest is like burning, and I'm looking down, and I'm already holy. Like I haven't started anything. Like Amithril's doing things without me asking at this point. And I say, Amithril, grant me your justice, which allows me to see/exploit a weakness. And I'm going to try to just cut smoke based upon my amazing divine weakness that I hopefully can see.
Cool. I like that. Let's do it. Smoke cutter. I
I got a plus a 7.
Excellent. I also got a 7. So to push, you do gain the sight of its weakness. This thing is built close. It is sentient and it is intelligent. It is a person. It is also very magical. From the Never Never, not science. This is going to have to obey the laws of magic.
I say that all out loud. I say, Mr. Dr. Close, I see you, and I know you have to obey the magical laws as I'm slicing through the air and having an internal conversation with an angel.
Okay. You hear the air around you say, "Oh, Valley." Who do you want to go next?
Top of the round, Victor.
Nah, it's my bad guy.
Bottom of the round, Smoke.
But we don't want him to go.
Yeah.
You asked who we wanted to go.
Right? Yeah, but it'd be the end of the round.
Well, now you're reneging.
I am. Okay, it's good. It's good. All right, so he is going to attack Malcolm. He only got a 5, but he's basically heating up the air around you, Malcolm, like a big convection oven.
All right, Can I oppose that with the same whirlwind?
You got to roll a new oppose.
Yeah. I know. I got to roll a new one.
Yeah, you can keep the whirlwind going. I like that.
All right, that will be a 8.
All right, so I'm picturing, Malcolm, your whirlwind was pretty close to your body at first, and now you're like, what? I'm going to suck cold air from way up there, and I'm going to bring it straight down and cool me off. And so this massive funnel from way up, I mean, like, it's blowing this dome just straight through. There's now a hole in the big smoke dome. So Redicus, right. you are going to take top of the round.
Question.
Yeah.
Question. Important question. So there's hot air around me, and I have now just drawn in a whole bunch of cold air.
Yes.
He wants a storm.
That sounds a lot like what would happen if lightning were like that. That's how you create lightning.
I could see this becoming ingredients for a good storm, if that's where you want to go with this next turn.
Did I get enough to get an advantage? To create an advantage?
So yes, you got an 8 and I got a 5. So yes, you could create an advantage on this and put a storm in.
Yeah, I've already got it on my aspect sheet here. Thunderhead.
All right, so we're going to put an aspect on this. You want to put it on the scene that there is now a raging storm?
Yeah.
Raging storm.
I put it on my card.
I put it on the scene too.
Is that an aspect or an invoke? That's an aspect, right?
It's an aspect that you can invoke. Like invoking is the verb there, I guess. All right, so yeah, Victor, you go at the top of the round.
Would like to finish running around like a maniac with my stick, making my circle, and then I'd like to cut my finger and put a little bit of my blood on it.
All right, so he's going to oppose you running around him like a madman. I think this is an intelligence roll for you. It's a very smart plan. You can also try to do it very quickly with a haste, but I think you know how deep you'd have to gouge things.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is your stick is going to work up until the road. So go ahead and give me a roll, and we'll see how this works out.
Oh, it's a roll, so I'm probably going to fail it. Oh, no! Oh, my God! Hey, look at the dice made up for it.
So this would be a good time to point out that you probably have a roll of wire on you, and it would have made more sense to use that. You could have just tied it to a tree, ran around a bunch of trees, and then got to the tree back.
Sure, that sounds like a genius plan. Of course, I'd have like some fishing line or something. Also, before I add any invokes or anything, that's 7.
Awesome. Well, you're gonna beat my opposition, and then do you want to go ahead and say you've switched to wire instead of the stick?
Yes.
So
Copper wire would be a real good choice. What with the storm?
you'll make it copper wire. I mean, we're all here writing this story.
Sure.
I think you've started with this tree, you've connected this tree, and then you're gonna run it straight across to that tree. I like this plan. It's a good plan.
I've run past O'Malley and I'm giggling maniacally, and he's probably like, "What the fuck is he doing?" As of where, when I ran by Malcolm, he was like, "I know what he's doing."
Yeah, both of us. You see me making the storm and realize copper wire was an excellent choice. You just have to get it out of your hands very quickly. I see you running copper wire and realizing the storm is awesome and this is going to be great. I'm going to tell Thomas on my turn he probably should get out of this circle.
Well, it's Victor. Who do you want to go next?
Did I have time? So I only had time to make it to that tree. Okay, who I want to go next? I need the circle contained, and I think the best person for that right now is Malcolm.
You mean you need me to keep the smoke monster in the circle for the time being?
Yes. See, you even knew what I meant.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so I'm going to. So I've now created there's a storm brewing. I'm going to attempt to feed that storm, make it stronger. Instead of trying to just contain this creature that I was struggling with, I'm going to make a storm do the work for me.
Okay.
I feel like that might be flare, since that's my my magic thing.
Cool. Give me a flare roll.
All right. I'm going to mark a box of power. Where's that at? Here we go.
Bill does not want to be controlled. Unfortunately, I got a 6.
Well,
Also,
I start the roll with a 6. I just have to not roll any negatives.
yeah, basically.
All right, that's so 4 minus 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. I'm gonna invoke the raging storm that's already in existence that I'm trying to feed.
Oh yes, absolutely.
2.
Cool. So you got an 8,
7.
7, and I got a 6.
I rolled some negatives, so
Okay, I gotcha. All right, so he is going to be contained for this round inside the circle. I think just mathematically, if we continue this for 2 more rounds, Victor's going to make his whole circle. Unless you do a haste roll or something to get like super far. Thomas, you're gonna go next, right? Malcolm, that's who you want to go next.
Yeah.
All right. But I have to go AFK for just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Have you read about changelings yet, Chris?
In the books, yeah, a little bit.
So I made a new character, probably a support character. I don't think it's going to be a villain. It's basically the Hulk, but his name is Hale. He's a half giant.
I saw his picture.
I probably should make the art for his smaller version.
Okay, sorry about that. Thomas.
Yep. So I cut what I thought was going to be smoke, and it was just going to split in half and have some effect. And it did nothing, and it talked back to me. It was real mad. Then I heard Malcolm say, "Hey, get out of the circle!" So I'm gonna try to find Jed in all this smoke and find the edge of the smoke. Jeb?
It's a buh. Yeah, it's a buh, not a duh. Although it is about to be a duh.
You sure it's not Jed? Not.
It's Jebba.
Oh, let me rewrite that. Jeb.
I thought you said it was Jeb. Wait, is it not Jeb?
I don't think he knows. I don't think Jed knows.
He tried to breathe in 250 degrees air.
Yeah, it's fair. His brain is melting.
All right. So, what kind of role do you think this? Like an intelligence? You're going to keep one hand on the van to find him?
No, just focus, like eyes wide open, going, "Oh man, I'm gonna find him."
Gotcha.
I'm gonna roll well and get a 6.
Excellent. You find Jed. Which direction do you want to try to go out of the smoke?
His real name is Jedediah. Everybody calls him Jeb.
This way.
That way. All right.
First name Jed, last name Jeb.
As you're rolling this way in front of the van, because Malcolm's gone, Redicus is gone this turn, so it's going to be the smoke monster. As you're running past the front of the van, he's going to try to basically condense. It just turns up the heat and the weight on you. You can impose this by using a focus or a force, maybe. But basically, he's going to try to spoosh you.
Can you oppose it with the armor?
Yeah, the armor can oppose it. Yeah, it's a good plan.
Might work better.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay down and say, "Hey, Amithro, can you grant me your peace as I pass through this tumultuous fiery valley?"
Cool.
And she rolls real well and gets a +9.
No harm comes to you. You can even make an aspect. Maybe the smoke monster gets burned a little bit as it touches your angelic armor.
Oh my goodness, I would love to burn smoke.
It is going to take some stress on that, actually. Cool. As you pass through it, you hear the growly smoke voice of Bill Close. He calls out your name again. O'Malley. Now it sounds a little pained. All right, top of the round, I think Redicus should go.
Redicus is... you said tractor trailer, so he's trying really hard to get all the way around it.
Yep.
Do you need another opposition roll, or?
I think actually that shift of Thomas's is going to mean that you're going to make this with no opposition. You're going to get to like Thomas's area. This is a very good plan. I like this plan. I want it to.
Now that I'm super close to Thomas, I'm gonna be like, you gotta keep it in circle. Out of breath, gotta keep going. And I just run past him.
Malcolm's doing a good job of keeping it in the circle with the storm.
Oh yeah, you need to know who goes next.
Rain. Yep, I do.
Thomas already went.
No, it's top of the round with you, so you get to choose.
Thomas can go.
Okay.
I see the smoke tendrils. I guess they would look like they're turning into like when he says smoke is burning, in my head I imagine it's like watching ash reignite, like it's turning red.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey, yeah, that's good. Use that. Push that into it.
Yeah, so I reach down into my soul and I pull my flaming sword and I shoot some soul fire at it.
Ooh, yes, let's do this. All right, it's been burned before. it knows that feeling. It does not want that to happen again. So it's going to oppose this. But it, fuck, Jesus.
I rolled all pluses. This is my night. That's a plus 10.
I also have gotten to the point in the book where Soulfire is explained.
Yes.
That is so much cooler than you think it is, Kizik.
So much.
Yeah.
Well, we see it now. Do you want to explain how the smoke just took fucking 9 damage? It's a lot of stress to this thing. Alright, so it basically flares up and clears completely the area around Thomas, and it floods over to Malcolm's side of this van. Hold on, it's the wrong color. It's grayish. There we go. So it is completely on Malcolm's side of the van as it just took massive damage. And yeah, Thomas, who do you want to go next? I mean, this thing is recoiled away from you, screams, O'Malley!
Malcolm can keep going.
Yep, that makes sense. Never wanted to be the bad guy.
Just with
So it's my turn.
Yes.
Same thing. Gonna make the storm bigger, stronger. Try to condense it even more.
All right.
So I'll invoke the fact that there is a storm for the 2.
Bastard. I am
Same roll. I got a 9.
Cool. All right. You have kept it contained. It is now in a smaller area. Your tornadic activity has basically just around you. This thing has shrunk down now to like this. And you're in it. It's not hot enough to like burn you, but you've collected all of the smoke around you now. And because I'm an asshole, this van or this truck, you don't see it coming, but you hear it. It slams on its brakes and goes sideways and then starts rolling towards you. Crunch, crunch, crunch of metal on asphalt as it topples barrel roll style into you. I'm not going to have you take any damage, but this is fucked up the scene for you guys. And I'm giving all of you guys a fate point. There's Archons, here's Cravens, and Kizix. Alright, so as it comes across, Redicus, you won't know like by feeling it, but you guess that it does fuck up your coil on that side.
God damn it, I gotta do 2 laps.
And Malcolm, it does knock you backwards, but it's not going to do you any damage. And then my bad guy goes. He's going to try to escape. And he's basically fighting up against everything that you guys have put. And he rolls shittily. Oh, God. All right. So, Malcolm, I'm sure you want to oppose him trying to escape. He got a 6. If you get higher than him, he will not be able to get away.
All right.
And then it's going to be top of the round after this opposition.
Oof. That is 5.
Oh, and I get a 6. Excellent. All right, so he is going to move You've tried to keep him contained inside this circle. He doesn't get very far. He's only going to move to like the front of the van, but he does. The air around you clears, and it starts to get thicker around Redicus. Redicus, it's going to be your turn at the top of the round. I'm just going to make that nice and easy. And I guess you're going to keep running, right?
I'm going to cut the corner, actually. I'm going to go straight across.
Right.
To this tree, but then if I can, because I'm using shorter distance, I'm going to run right up to try to find where the line is broken. Short of that, I'm going to wrap it around the truck.
Give me a haste roll then.
I'd also like to point out that while Redicus is in really bad shape, it's got to be bigger than a semi, because like a 6-year-old could run around a semi faster than that. Oh, well, it's a 0, so I didn't do haste. Haste is not a thing I do. I'm out of breath.
It's all those cigarettes. As a private eye. You've cut the corner. It is not going to get as far as your line, and now you're here. You want to do or say anything else? I'll give you this. Yeah, you could spend a fate token to have the end of the line like not cut on this truck, so you won't have to go all the way around the truck.
Yeah.
You guys can spend fate tokens like that too.
I'll happily do that. If it's intact, can I get to the other end of it?
Yeah, we can cut this short. You get to the end. I'll have you. You want to prick your finger and all that stuff next round?
I would like to do that next round, but I imagine that if Malcolm goes in between, then I don't want to be touching this wire. So I'm going to make sure that it's cinched off and I'm not touching it.
Okay, good plan. Who do you want to go next?
Malcolm.
So you've connected the wire?
Yeah, big circle, and I did, and I'm gonna go ahead and yell. It's connected. Step back.
I'm gonna do something real stupid.
No.
I'm the only one in the storm now, right?
Yep, we're all
Except for the
outside.
smoke monster.
It's yeah. Well, and my truck that's about to explode.
So I'm going to prick my finger and contain the. I'm gonna pour the power of the storm into the
circle.
the wire with my will.
That's exactly what I thought I was gonna do. Go figure.
I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
I don't think it actually needed all that to work. I just knew you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think my truck's gonna explode.
I do think the truck will explode. I think I'm about to be the actual god of thunder or dead. One of them could go either way.
But you do have a backup character.
I do. I did just make an awesome backup character. Or at least the art form. I haven't made the character yet.
For this.
No, I don't.
No.
I guess I could step over the line and do it, but that's not very badass.
Well, it sounds like a flare roll. Because you're calling down a bunch of lightning strikes within this area, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Making like a lightning prison.
And you're powering up the circle. So that's going to contain his supernatural body. But you're basically, I think this could go, I'm picturing this two ways. One, you roll really, really well, and then you decide, well, I'm going to put that all into the damage aspect of this, and it's basically going to fry the bad guy. The other way that I see this is straight imprisonment, where you put all of it into containment instead of damage, and it will make a semi-permanent lightning cage. Or, I don't know, like, if you guys could think of something else. Yeah, remember, I'm not the only one narrating this story.
do you have a small vial? I got a bunch of them in the van. Can you put the smoke monster? Can you put the genie in a bottle?
Ooh, that'd be cool. Contain it in a, like the episode of Futurama where they bottle the storm, and it's got like bay leaves and shit like floating around in the bottle. That's a tornado in like a jar.
Question: How much do I get for a fate point?
I think it's
If you
2.
want to, you want to spend a fate point here to make which one happen?
Destruction.
You want to kill him.
I want to utterly annihilate him. I want to. I want to spend the fate point. I want to use the hammer to shoot, call it down, gather everything up, and then shoot it back up into the sky. Let's say towards the sun. Everybody throws bad guys into the sun. It's my turn.
That is a good way for this guy to go. Do you want the van to survive?
I don't care. I got a motorcycle.
I do.
I know you do. I hate this van.
All right, I'll tell you what. You
got all
spend
our
the
shit
fate
in it.
point. You spend the fate point, and the van lives.
Oh wait, I can do all that without spending. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go. Actually, no. I'm supposed to have 3, so I'm going to keep this one, and now I have 3.
Okay. Where did the
I
other
spent one.
I've just
I
been
spent one
flipping
last
them
season,
as I
last
go.
session.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right, so the van lives. The circle gets super powered with like electricity. I'm seeing like this thing starts glowing like the large Hadron Collider would start, like there's electricity just running around in a circlet around this.
It's charging
creature.
itself. It's
Yeah,
literally charging itself.
It's charging itself. There's a lot of like polarization going on, and the fucking air smells like ozone. There's so many lightning strikes going on, and this eye of the storm, actually it'd be a reversed eye of the storm with just a tornadic activity of smoke and storm just vortexing up into the upper atmosphere and gone in a flash.
And a solar flare that may or may not come back to hit us sometime next year.
So this truck that hit Malcolm has a perfectly Malcolm-sized hole in it, where Malcolm stopped it with his super strength, like the superhero that he is. The van, a little worse for wear. The lights are on and they're blinking opposite of each other. So like maybe there's some electrical giz in the van, but it seems like it's okay. And just like that, you guys are in the clear. Jeb probably needs some medical attention.
Thomas was on his hands and knees with not the magical thread, because that's now goo, but the rest of the old surgical kit. Just give him a once over, bandaging up all of his degreed burns on his arms, trying to figure out like, how do I get it into his lungs?
Okay. Good call.
Victor's like, oh my god, my van. It's okay.
The man is okay.
It is probably very statically charged. I assume everybody gets a little shock when they touch it.
Yeah, I think it grounds though. It doesn't ground because of rubber tires. Is that how cars work?
I think that's how
There's
cars
just so much electrical in the air.
Right. Yeah, you get little static pops as you walk in, or touch the frame of the vehicle.
Everybody's here, but mine looks awful.
I've got metal armor everywhere. I'm just zapping myself at all times.
It's just running in arcs and sparks across your chest.
Victor's like, oh, that looks kind of cool, except for the stuff around the groin area. That looks uncomfortable. I'm gonna walk over here.
All right, so yeah, the copper wire that you ran around in a circle is burned up. It is gone.
Flag.
Slag, yeah, it's probably little droplets somewhere on the ground. What's next steps?
Make sure the people driving this truck aren't dead.
Yeah, good call. All right. So you walk up to that vehicle, and there was a man in the front seat. Seatbelt's gone very tight around his chest. The airbag's gone off, and he's hanging upside down, like in the seat.
We'll look in
He's
the back.
unconscious.
Does he look like a scientist?
No, he doesn't. He looks like a truck driver.
That's why I'm looking in the back.
Yeah, you look in the back, and it's just filled with packaging peanuts. He was hauling packaging peanuts.
That's ironic. If only that had been in front of him.
Yeah, we'll
Scattered all over.
we'll cut him down. Stick with him until the ambulance comes.
Yeah, right on. I don't have an ambulance, but I've got a cop car. So some passerby drives up, calls the ambulance on his phone. You guys stay with the truck driver. Get him into the ambulance. He's going off to the hospital. Do you put Jeb in there too? They're like, "Whoa, was this guy in the accident? Where was the fire?"
Yeah, he totally was. He was in the accident. He's got issues. You should take him with you.
Jeb gets in the ambulance. They go off to Detroit City.
I don't think he's going to come work for us.
Yeah, he
He
is.
will.
Let me ask you something there, Thomas. Could you go back to your old job as a coroner after figuring out shit like this exists?
How much of it he actually saw is a question. Like, he went unconscious real quick.
He knew that the engine of our car got real hot, and then he breathed in some hot air and passed out.
Yeah, and the root monster and everything from the last thing that we bought. I'm sure.
He had to be a little bit conscious in order to get out of the vehicle, so he had to have seen me making a storm, but it was a very tiny storm.
I think
I think he had-
I think he'll be back. We have a place for him.
He can go work with the Kevins.
I was gonna say Hopper's got a place for him. I'll tell Hopper to make him a driver so his life expectancy will be a little bit longer.
A driver.
Yeah, he just takes Kevin's from places to places.
He gets PTSD every time he turns the heat on in the car.
It's middle of winter. It's like single digit temperatures. Like, don't touch that heater.
Yeah, and the windows got to be down at all times.
Yeah.
Scared to death of car heat. All right, so you guys get in the van. You start driving back to Detroit City. What happens to your raging storm? Or
I
the
shot it into
Stay-
space. Yeah, no, I shot it into space.
I didn't know if you were gonna moodily keep it around.
I,
Right.
I would like to, but that seems unwise. So
Yeah. All right,
it's,
so
a
you drive.
space, it's a space storm now.
Space Storm. Love it. So you're driving back to Detroit, and like I said before, the electrics in this van are a little wonky now, and the polka music that you were listening to earlier suddenly changes, and you hear, "Hello and welcome back to 694.2 Detroit Public Radio, the master station. I'm Andrew Proops, and this is Live with Detroit. Today I'm at the newly renovated Detroit Stadium with my guest, Professor Leon Vinci, a two-time Nobel laureate, author of several backwards books, and a Renaissance man." And then you hear a weird Italian voice, and he goes, "That's right, hi, Renaissance man." And Andrew Proops goes, "Yes, that's great. Could you tell our listeners out in Radioland about the competition?" And the Italian guy gets back on. He goes, yes, this is called the DARCA competition. It's hosted by the Detroit St. Andrew's Hospital and Detroit University. We have challenged hundreds of scientists from around the globe to affix their imaginations and their powerful sci-fi machines to create the ultimate ally for the defense of mankind. And Andrew Proop says, and they came out in droves. I've noted here that there were almost 300 entrants for the competition this morning, but most of them didn't make it past the first round of the competition, the judges table. That's right, Andrew. Out of all the entrants, we're down to 10 remaining competitors. And just now, we've had a few competitors hit the ground running on the obstacle course. Ada Lovelace and her jackalope are named the King. They are early leaders with the current highest score, an 89. And in a close to second place, a mathematician Harris Tottle and his tarantula raptor, Clever Girl, with an 87. And in the third place, with a score of 80, is a Micah Faraday and his happy little tree man. Andrew Proops gets back on. He's like, okay, I saw some kind of metallic gray goop wriggle by here earlier. Can you tell me what that was? Absolutely, Andrew. Not only are the competitors' creations tasked with completing the various challenges, they must also compete with a control group. A control group? Yes, yes. What you saw passing by the booth, the silverish goop, they're millions of tiny, teensy-weensy nanobots, collectively called IOTA. They are the creation of Nick Tesla, and earlier today the microbots set the obstacle baseline, a score of 77. All competitors that score under IOTA 77 are eliminated from the competition. Yeah, we saw that earlier with a few of the competitors' creations. That's right. Misters Alex Fleming, James Chadwick, and Al Wallace's creations were all sent to the pit with terrible scores. The IOTA bots run each challenge first to establish the baseline score, so we have something to compare our competitors against. Well, that sounds neat and tidy. What's up next for us? Well, up next for the obstacle course is Archimedes and his creation, Hydrostatic. So, the radio changes again. And for the damned life of you, you can't figure out how to get back to New Detroit Public Radio. But you're cruising into the city limits now. Where's your first stop?
I guess where we're going first.
Did you say it was 62? There's no 62 on the radio. I don't know what he's talking about. Can I enter the tournament?
I think that's a brilliant idea.
What creation are you going to use?
Yeah, you could call your buddy Frank Doyle. I think that's the next step here. And you know what? Let's cut to it. Frank calls you, Thomas. Bring, 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 bring.
Frank?
Hey, are you around your buddies? Can you put me on speakerphone?
Yeah, you're on speaker. We're driving back into the city.
Oh, excellent. Hey, guys, I've been thinking about what you guys said earlier about the at the Nine Realms, and you're right. Humankind needs some sort of defense against the supernatural, but the board of directors has gone about it all wrong with the cybersuit. I agree completely. They need to be stopped before they hurt more innocent people. And I think if you do it right, you could end it today and put a stop to their machinations. I've got a plan, but it's got some risks, and I want to talk it to you. Can you meet me at Nine Realms and we'll talk this out?
It's always a good first stop to go to the bar.
Excellent. Meet you there. It sounds like you're about 30 minutes away.
We were actually already heading to the bar. We're probably only like... Oh, no, I got in the driver's seat.
You just get out. Oh, yeah, you kick Redicus out.
Yeah,
no, he absolutely does not. He does not. He does not.
I saved your car.
Yeah, you wanted to blow it up.
Damn it, I did not. I paid a fate point to not blow it up. I get credit for it, damn it.
Yes. Malcolm's driving while Victor is actively rerunning electrical as the car's driving.
Oh, he's not going to do that. He's going to drop it off with Ace and get on his motorcycle, which is going to be problematic for Thomas.
He has a motorcycle too.
Yes, but his doesn't come when he calls it.
I mean, that's an easy mod.
That's the kit mod, right? You make it a kit motorcycle.
Mine was the goat package.
Yes, the goater cycle.
Yes.
All right, so you guys get to Nine Realms, and I'm gonna pull out of my bag of tricks here. It's going to be.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Good old Frankie Doyle. And Frankie Doyle has a thick white, or it's actually a black piece of paper with him. It is sparking some electricity as he's holding it in his hand.
Why is it sparking?
Well, it's a piece of technology. He will tell you about it when everybody gets back. Thomas, I'm really upset that I've broken your token, and I'm going to have to figure out how to fix it.
What'd you do to his token?
He had a token that could swap or change from his normal token to his angelic body.
I mean, it wasn't you. Somebody else shot it into the Never Never.
You guys shooting things into the never.
It wasn't me this time. Not saying it was ever me, but it definitely wasn't me this time.
This time. Let me see it. I think I've got it saved. So you sent it to me a long time ago.
Has returned.
Welcome back. There we go. Thomas is fixed.
Thomas looks the same as he did before.
And now he's got states. All right. So you walk into the Nine Realms, and Frank Doyle is here, and in front of him on the table is this ticket. It's about 8 inches long, 4 inches wide, and it's black. It's got some purple writing on it, and it's crackling with electricity. And as you guys approach, Frank's like, "Hey, I didn't order anything yet. But thanks for coming. You guys want to be here? You want to? It's on me. I'll pay. You want anything?"
Malcolm wants a keg.
Oh yeah, I forgot how expensive you are. Okay, I'll get a keg. Greta, I need a keg. Greta was like, "Yeah, I got one on tap. I knew Malcolm was coming." Brings it. Malcolm. She hands it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Redicus has swapped alcohol consumption for energy drink consumption.
Ooh. She hands you something that's called Monster. But you don't know.
Knowing where I'm at, Victor looks at that real close.
Right? It'll give you energy, kick you right in the teeth. All right. So Frank Doyle, he says, all right, so my plan has to do with these tickets. And it's gotta be done right, okay? So the Cyber Sucha is an offshoot of the board of directors. I don't like any of them. You know, I'm more on the board. They're more off the board. Do you know what I'm saying? The Cyber Sucha is led by Riley, Nick Tesla, and Bill Close. Riley is a portal-wielding psychopath. He's got a mountaintop laboratory in the Rockies, and he's created a portal liquid that allows him to move long distances. Nick Tesla commands nanorobots. They're called IOTA. They're a shape-changing collection of AI-controlled ionic organisms. And all three of these bastards are paranoid megalomaniacs. So this is my plan. You guys pose as Cybersucha scientists and infiltrate the dock competition. You locate Nick and Riley and Bill Close, and you take them out. You remove them from the equation. Now, you'll need to obtain actual tickets like this one to the competition. The tickets are some kind of cyber gizmo that Nick Tesla designed. It needs to be the real deal ticket. You can't get in without one. Also, you need creations to complete the cover. A DNA sample needs to be submitted to the judges prior to entering the competition. My dragon turtle would be great if you guys gave it a shot. You could take it to the competition. I can't take it because I'm a judge anyway. You take it to the competition, submit it in, and it can be your entry into the dot competition. Now, here's the problem. It's supposed to be one entry per contestant. So if you all three want to come in like that, you're going to have to submit 2 more creatures.
Don't you need handlers? Like-
there's handlers as part of the competition.
Hold up. You're saying that so all these monsters are there, and they're just bringing random people as handlers?
No, they're not random people. They're part of Nick Tesla's group.
They chose a stadium and there's no audience.
There's the Cybersucha audience. There's no real innocent people there.
Is it just so once you get in, do you still need a ticket?
Yes. If you do not continue carrying the discs, you put the ticket in a machine, the machine shits out 2 discs. You have to wear the disc, and then your creature has to wear the same disc pair. So anyway, they'll track your creature through the competition that way. But if you lose your discs, security escorts you out. You don't want that to happen.
How did you envision talking to Raza?
So I was using light. I have a helmet here. He pulls a helmet out of a bag that's got a bunch of LEDs on it. He says, I've programmed it to take my voice as commands and output as light commands.
Have to be your voice? I say putting the helmet on.
It does not have to be my voice. It can be your voice too. But you will need tickets, so do you guys know where you could find 3 of these tickets? Give me an intelligence check, because you totally know.
We've taken out some people that had those tickets.
Yeah, but you haven't picked any of them up.
I assume there's at least a couple in the Never Never we could grab.
There are 4 somewhere together.
You got a +4 intelligence.
No, I'm not gonna roll.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's not gonna. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. I'll roll.
I got a
It doesn't
2
matter.
because the dice hate me.
Okay.
I
Negative two.
I could invoke being a private eye if I needed to. That would give me a 4.
Well, you remember Tommy Boothby. You remember his tardigrade white, and you remember the Black Diamond telling you that Tommy Boothby was staying at the Elysium Hotel, and then you guys never followed up with that. So you would imagine that he, as a scientist, would have a ticket. And then Thomas would remember that Bill Close, Robert Einstein, Mary Curie, and Zach Newton's ticket are all at the university science lab where you ended them. So their tickets are somewhere at the science lab, and there's 4.
I mean, that one chick who went to the Never Never might live. You don't know. She might have landed in a pretty field of flowers and then gotten eaten. I mean,
Or maybe she didn't. Maybe she just landed in a pretty field of flowers, and she's just sitting there going, "This is really nice."
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
glad this guy sent me here.
you don't know. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
Maybe she fought her way back and is now looking for you. You never know.
She landed in the
Maybe we'll-
field of flowers,
Yeah,
and then
if
her beast landed on top of her.
if she fought her way out of the Never Never, she's badass enough and be like, we're just gonna go ahead and kill her now.
I mean, I'll just pick another storm and shoot her into the sun. I think that's going to be my new thing.
Yeah, don't drop them into the Never Never anymore. They can
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah, shoot him into the sun.
The sun. That's the way to go.
What probably
so,
happened is she made a terrible deal.
Yes, it's always an awful deal. So I'm going to force you guys, railroad you a little bit, to New Detroit University Lab, which I have a map for this time. I drew it last time, and I drew it this time. This is my custom map that I spent a lot of the day Friday on. Pretty happy with it. All right, so remember last time there was this this loading dock that you guys came up on Mary Cure, and you guys had parked the van there. And then there were 2 garage doors. There was a cage inside that you'll remember. That big Frankenstein monster thing looked or crashed out of. But yeah, you guys are back here at the science lab. Let me get your tokens. And the van. Or did you want to bring motorcycles to this?
I dropped off the van with Ace and got on the motorcycle.
Cool. We'll bring the bikes.
It needs upholstery and a window.
Probably the electrical system's not doing great. I assume all the lights are blown out.
I do have a question, and I know I'm going to regret asking this later. If Thomas can use Soulfire, how can he ever even touch electronics?
Because his Soulfire is being channeled through a mithril. So it's not really his magic, it's a mithril's, and it's well under control. It is a lot of power, but it's not enough for Thomas to mess up electronics.
Okay.
It also, so Thomas is human. He can use magic, but he's not actually magical.
Well, I mean, so is Dresden, but he fries everything he touches.
Dresden is actually using, like, that's his magic. Thomas is using someone else's magic.
Also, later on, you'll meet somebody that has no problem with technology and is very powerful.
I mean, I don't mind him being powerful. I was just asking because Soulfire was very specific on how it worked, and I'm in the second book where he's using it, and it's got some pretty severe drawbacks that Thomas doesn't appear to need.
It's true, because it's coming off of a mithril. It's not actually using Thomas's soul. So you guys roll up, and there's this door to the garage. It's already open, and I'm not going to make you roll for it. You hear somebody inside. You pull up on your motorcycles, and a man steps out of the garage, and he looks at you guys. Try to find his token. Evening, gentlemen. What can I do for you? He's wearing a blue jumpsuit, black guy with sunglasses, and on his name tag, he's got a badge on this blue jumpsuit that says Thurgood. And then underneath it says New Detroit University.
Thomas, I think you're the one with a relationship with the university.
Hey, it's nice to see you. I work with the board of directors. I'm starting to work with the Cyber Sucha. Can we? There's a lot of strange stuff that's happening inside there that we know way more about than we should. The last time, how are you today, sir?
Man, I was fine until you white guys started coming up here. And, man, fuck. Who you with? The cyber? What? You man, I'm a janitor. I don't give a fuck what you do. Fucking white guy coming up in here to fucking man. And he walks back in. He's like, I'm busy as fuck. What do you guys? I'm trying to box up this dude's shit. I got Chong upstairs. He's boxing up this dude's shit. We're just trying to get our shit done, man. You smell marijuana like hardcore as you guys come into the garage.
Have you seen any cool like Sparky tickets?
Man, Sparky tickets. Yeah, I did actually see some Sparky tickets. They're upstairs. I think they're in a box. Hold on. They're in a storage crate next to a bunch of like Amazon boxes and stuff. We're packing things up. We're trying to get Robert Einstein's shit out of here because the university is trying to bring in new people, and they said that they need everything cleared out by Monday. And so me and Chong are working overtime trying to put things together. And I mean, like, this dude's got some crazy shit. Look at this. And he comes over and he grabs like a tablet, and he's like, this guy had just pictures of everything in his office. Like he was inventorying stuff, man. I look at this, and he's like scanning through the tablet, and you see picture upon picture of like, this is a book, this is a laptop, this is a Kleenex, this is a box of Kleenexes, and it's just each picture individual on the tablet. He's like, this guy was fucking nuts.
Hey,
So anyway, I'm
so good. Did they tell you where to send these boxes of stuff?
Man, they got us taking this stuff to storage. There's a storage unit up in Lowtown. The university owns.
How'd you like some help with that?
What, you gonna take it to the storage unit?
I'm gonna pull out my phone and call Hopper and be like, "Hey, can you send some Kevins to the university? There's this guy named They're good, man. They're good. Who's gonna need some help moving some stuff, and
shit, man.
And needs stuff. Might need to help with this."
Oh well, like you're gonna take it to the storage unit though, right? Like, I can't have it. I might lose my job.
Yeah, it won't be a problem. Hopper, take care of it.
Also, Hopper, you should come down here. This guy and you would be best friends.
Look, man, I wasn't gonna like say that because it's gonna happen anyway.
All right, so the door opens and this old man with a beard, he sticks his head out, and you smell another big waft of pot. And he sticks his head out and he's like, "Hey, man, I thought you were coming up here to help me pallet, man. You can't. What are you doing down here, man? Who are these guys, man? Who are you guys?"
We're bringing the help. We need to see some of the stuff. We're looking for these black tickets. They're not really part of the lab. It's just this event thing that we're supposed to be helping with, and we just need to have a quick look.
Oh, yeah, black tickets, man. I know where those are. Go get them for you, man. And you hear him go up the stairs.
I'm gonna go follow him. I think he got lost.
I'm listening for Hopper's van. You can hear it about 4 blocks away.
Yeah. The pounding bass lines. The subwoofers blowing up. All right, Thomas, you go upstairs. You get to the top of the stairs, Thomas. And it's very quiet up here. We're over here.
Oh man, what was his name? Chong, you all right?
Where do you want to go?
Is this a door here?
Yes.
I'm gonna peek in here. Say, Chong.
All right, so you peek your head into this room, and there's a bunch of like laboratory apparatus and gizmos. There's shelves, 2 big ass storage crates, and a pallet full of like old Amazon boxes. There's a sink up here with a little like laboratory, not a kitchenette, but like, you know, a place to work with chemicals and shit like that. And then this table over here is actually a big ass screen that you can like write on. And other than that, this room is pretty empty. Give me a focus roll. I want to know if you get above an 8. If you do not get above an 8, we'll move on.
I rolled all minuses. I got a 0.
That makes me feel so much better.
All right. So where do you want to go next? Man, that Chong, dude. Like, we're back downstairs real quick. There's a scene cut. Redicus and Malcolm are talking to Thurgood. Man, Chong is about to retire, dude. Like, he's retiring in about a week. So we've just been smoking blunts every day for this past week, man. And I'm gonna let him go out with a bang. You know, he's a good dude.
Hey, Thurgood, how's this job pay?
You know, it's janitor work. It doesn't pay very good, but the university, they grow their own marijuana, and we get to clean the lab that they grow in. So I get a bunch of that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, when Hopper gets here and he helps you out, you should chat with him. I think you two are gonna get along handily, and he has tons of side work if you're interested.
All right, man. Yeah, definitely. Thomas, where are you headed next?
I come out and find a next door on my head. Head into this one.
All right. So this room is a little bit more loud and noisy. This big high-tech computer station is running. It's got its own fans and everything like that, so that's what's pretty loud in this room. There's no people in here, but there is this contraption in the corner that I'm going to, from the ground up, explain this thing. So at the very base of the ground is a circular stand that stands up about 9 inches off the ground. It's made of metal, and it's got different side, hold on, I'm trying to explain this, angled sides that kind of ramp up. So it starts wide at the bottom, goes up 6 inches, and kind of curves in a little bit to make a smaller diameter section on the top. Sitting on that is nothing. That is just completely empty. But there's this circular arch that stands over top of the base, and it looks like the arch can spin and kind of scan whatever's on the base. We've got a mechanical like sensors array on the wall over here. That's what looks like it's all electrified. It's not running right now, but it could be electrified. And then over here, right to the right of this whole contraption and apparatus, is this robotic arm that currently is set up with a camera on the tip of it. And it looks like the arm's got enough range to go all the way, like it's big, it's a long arm, and it can go all the way around this thing and get a 360 view on the camera. All right. There's a bunch of like wires and shit on the ground too, just to make it nice. And then there's 2 desktop computers over here with 2 chairs. That's what's in this room.
No Chong?
No
Man, there's
Chong.
not much else he could have gone. I'm going to walk back to the stairs.
Okay. Cool.
And shout down and say, hey, the guy's gone.
What guy? Oh, what? You're talking Chong's gone, man? There's no way out up there. He's going to go get your tickets. He looks back. He's like, there's no way out up there. There's a way out on the bottom floor, but nothing up there. That's weird.
I guess I'm gonna go upstairs and investigate the missing person.
Probably a good call. Malcolm, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna go upstairs and help investigate.
Hey, Thurgood, what room was the where the tickets in that he was going for?
Oh, that was in the long lab, man. That was the one upstairs. At the top of the stairs, you take a left. Hopper shows up.
Up. So I could hear the van show up, and I'm like, well, Thurgood's going to be occupied. So what do I see when I enter this room?
Give me a focus roll with a. Let me know if you get an 8 or higher.
Focus roll. I don't think I can get an 8 or higher. I think the highest I can get is a 7. Oh wait, no. With my +2, I can get 9 if everything comes up positive, which it won't because I rolled dice.
Give me whatever your add your investigatory your
well,
everything.
Investigate is intelligence.
Okay, so give me an intelligence roll instead of a focus roll. My bad.
Yeah, that comes out to a 9.
Sweet. Yes. These are the rolls I love.
See, that's what it does.
So, Victor comes in with his Sherlock Holmesness, and you scan this room. Scientific apparatus, like I said before, the table is cool. The kitchenette is awesome. These boxes on a pallet. And then there's a single drop of blood over here in the. You see that little red spot on the map?
That's odd.
One singular drop of blood. That is odd.
All right, so what's around the drop of blood?
All right, so we've got various boxes over here. These two with the X on them look like large storage crates. And then these over here are smaller. They're all made out of hard plastic, like they're designed to hold specific items. And then over here, just cardboard Amazon boxes. This shelf has got I don't know, various knickknacks and got a scientific achievement awards and things like that.
Nothing on the ceiling, no writing, no drawn circles.
None of that. But you sit here long enough, and you'll actually hear something rustling, and it's coming from the Amazon boxes.
Like within them, or on top of them, or behind them?
You'll have to get closer to find out.
What's near at hand? Like if I was outside, I'd be looking for a stone. A pen or a notepad or...
Sure, you could find a pen or a notepad.
Alright, I just chuck it over there to see if it hits anything that I can't see.
Okay. The pen doesn't stop midair. It hits the boxes and reacts exactly like a pen would when it hits boxes.
Okie dokie. I'll walk over to the boxes.
As you walk up, one of the boxes itself shudders, and then not out of a flap, just straight out of the cardboard on the side, lightning fast, a mouth appears with a long purple tongue, and it lashes out towards you, lightning quick. Give me a haste roll to oppose getting grabbed by my box mimic. Sorry, I got really excited about it.
A 1.
Ooh, okay.
Redicus is not a hasty person.
All right, so this long purple tongue reaches out and grabs you by the arm. It lashes itself around your arm and starts to pull you. The the top of the box opens up and it's just teeth. Thomas, you see this. It happens pretty fucking quick, but this long tongue-like appendage has reached out and grabbed Victor.
Victor is my family. I'm going to cut that tongue in half.
Good call.
I have an aspect of family first. I am very upset right now. I'm also glad it didn't bite me. I just got a +7.
You cut this tongue off. Victor, you don't even stumble that far back, but the end of the tongue is still wrapped around your arm. The other end of the tongue has slurped into its mouth.
Does it turn into goo?
Not immediately. No.
Oh.
Actually, this one doesn't turn into goo at all.
Oh.
But its tongue goes into its mouth, and then it coughs, and it coughs up a piece of chong.
Oh, shit. It burps.
It burps, belches out like a piece of his blue overalls that his name tags on it.
Does it have
Chong.
is it like instinctual perception? If I chuck something towards it, does it like reach out with what's left of its tongue and try to grab it?
Oh, you want to try that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what are you going to throw at it?
Hand grenade with the pin pull.
Saw that coming. I
Yeah,
saw
like
that.
Who didn't see that coming?
Go for it.
Thomas has got a sword real close to it. Like he's gonna hit that thing as soon as it's popped out again.
Knicker snack.
What kind of did you need a roll? What kind of roll you need?
I think this is a pretty smart thing. If you want to make an intelligence check, or if you want to go just straight force, fastball a fucking grenade into this box.
How about guile? Because I'm trying to trick it. Does that work?
Yeah, guile. That's a good one. Good call.
Try that. I'm not great at that. It ends up being a 3. It's not great. Ooh, but it's I don't think you get higher caliber than a grenade, so I'm gonna invoke that. That's gonna make it a 5.
Right.
That is true. Grenades are pretty high caliber.
All right. The box failed terribly to recognize that it is a grenade, and the grenade goes right into its maw, and the box closes around the grenade, and then
As that happens, can I grab the back of Thomas's armor and pull him away
absolutely
from the boxes?
Pull it in front of you.
Yeah, you got him like
Human shield.
like human shield. And
No, I'm helping.
Mithril puts up a fucking barrier between you and the box as the box just explodes in gory bits. Just blood and guts rain everywhere. And they're black. This box is no more. Grenade in my mimic. Good call.
Hey, Thurgood. Chong retired.
When I hear the explosion, I'm going to run up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopper, Thurgood, and Malcolm come running up the stairs. Malcolm in front. They see you guys in the doorway. What do you want to say, Malcolm?
Found Chong. He retired.
What do you mean, man? What's going on? Holy shit! Oh my god! I gotta mop this stuff up.
Yeah,
man.
but that's totally what he said before he left. Is that you had to clean this up?
If you give it a couple of minutes, it should just clean itself up.
What are you talking about, man? Oh my god! What is this? He goes over. He picks up the little piece of Chong, the blue jumpsuit with the name tag. He goes, what the fuck happened in here?
The box ate him? That's based on what I'm seeing. It looks like the box ate him. I was with you, so.
Hey, Thurgood, where are those tickets he was talking about?
Man, they're in there. They're in that storage unit right there.
I'm gonna look for those tickets. I'm not gonna explain any further. Chong retired. That's the story. I'm sticking to it.
He was a week from retirement.
He retired early.
So you open the case, and inside are 3 dark tickets. They still crackle with electricity.
So we're gonna. You guys have monsters? Do you want to get a monster? I don't know too much about it, but I think that lab up the hallway could print you something.
You said monsters, man. What is that? What this was? This was a monster? God,
Yeah, it's box.
fuck, man. Oh, I've been smoking too much. Oh, man. Damn, Chong. Damn, man. He's going to leave the room. All right. Hopper comes in. God damn, this is a fucking mess. What's
Box
going on,
mimic.
guys? Oh, box mimic.
Yeah.
Box mimic.
Yeah.
That's box mimic. That's
It totally ate a grenade. They always fall for that.
oh my god, you gave it a grenade. Yep, that explains. Hey, what do you want me to do with? You said you want me to steal the scientist stuff downstairs. Is that what you want?
You're the best. You might want to also think about hiring Thurgood as a driver. He seems like you and him would get along.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call him up, maybe get some weed from him, but I don't know if he's employee material, really. I like the Kevins. The Kevins are good.
I like the Kevins too, but they're not the best drivers, and we're short 2 drivers. Something happened to the last set we used. I'm just saying, contractor.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I'll take care of this, boss. This goop though. This looks like
Looks like Harold's goop.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I guess it.
I
is there
thought
more of this?
I thought we had stopped that from happening. Did he already get the Kevin machine restarted?
Yes. So I remember he said at the end of it, he was like, "Oh, I just realized this is what I actually wanted to happen because I'm the god of chaos, and this is chaos."
Well, he will run the machine when you guys want him to run the machine. I don't know. I don't think he's got the machine up and running. But what I think this means is that there was an excess of that Vanta black ooze blood stuff. And whoever Frank Doyle sold it to before, like over the past 6 years, they used it in the creation. So you might still be running into this. Now, if the machine is off, I don't think you'll have to worry about this box mimic coming back. But if he turns the machine on again, this thing could probably suck itself back together,
So you know how to dispose of this, right, Hopper?
You know what? I draw a hole in the floor and just start shoveling things in.
How do you do that without the chalk?
I have my oh fuck. Never mind.
Yeah, chicken or egg problem.
Flamethrower? You want to throw it all? Like we could.
You do whatever you gotta do, Hopper. Just make sure you get the good shit out of the building first.
The good shit out of the building. All right, then I'll burn it.
Speaking of good shit, you got anything you can share with I pointed to the guy that is going through a panic attack right now.
Oh, Thurgood, yeah, we're gonna get together. Don't you worry about Thurgood. He's gonna be okay. All right, so you just want me to burn this fucking place to the ground? I'll do that. I'll do that right the fuck now.
Yeah, that seems like a solid plan.
I mean, this is a university. I mean, there is some scary black liquid. You can't scoop that up into a bucket and go feed it back to the tentacle monster.
I mean, sure, if that's what you want me to do, I'll do that instead. That's fine.
Yeah, don't you have some magic vacuum cleaner?
The magic vacuum.
You've got an infinite pocket. Why don't you just put it in your pocket?
No, and that's a terrible idea.
It's a pocket mimic.
Mimic. It's a good point.
So you don't want it reconstituting itself. You want me to? I can go ahead and call Harold right now, and we'll figure out if he's got the machine on or not. How about that?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to give this 50-50 odds. Oh, no. You know what? I can't do that with these dice.
Yeah, because it's the machine's back on. I'm just going to shovel this shit in the Never Never.
All right. I think it's this dice.
You're the worst kind of waste management person for the Never Never. Eventually, you're going to piss one of them off, and they're going to come rip your testicles off.
Yeah, they're going to be really upset.
Maybe.
All right. So that was super low. I'm going to say the machine is not on.
They're going to show up, and Malcolm's going to be like, Thomas did it.
So, yeah.
My dad's Odin.
Don't you know who my dad is?
Exactly. It's going to be my go-to. So my dad's Odin. You can't mess with me.
He just got introduced in the books. I think you can mess with him actually.
They don't necessarily have to know that.
They really can fuck with Odin. All right, so yeah, what's the general consensus? We want to burn this place to the ground. We want to clean it up.
What I specifically asked was that he would dispose safely of that and then steal all the equipment. I mean, relocate all the equipment to need stuff.
If you want Hopper to do that, he is going to do it to the best of his Hopper ability.
That's all I can ask. All right, let's take these tickets and find a way to get into this lab. We need quote unquote things.
Creatures.
Yeah.
Creations.
I mean, but do we really? I mean, what if we're just like we're totally just here to watch?
Now you gotta have the creature.
You gotta have that sample.
Yeah.
Goblin's pretty creature-like. Hopper's
What?
pretty.
You want to
Yeah.
pretend to be a creature we created?
How about you pretend to be a creature they created?
One of us looks human.
You look less human than they do.
Not less human than you.
I
Can't argue with that point.
I don't
can't
know.
argue with that point.
I'll bring trumpet.
It's
Look,
a disguise.
I've got the dragon anglerfish. Why don't you take that?
We're
Yeah,
taking that. We need
that's-
more. We need
So you-
another fake monster.
So you're gonna take Hopper as your fake monster. That's fine. And then you're gonna take the dragon turtle.
And Trump.
And then Trump, the Baku.
That's gonna be mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna lose.
Hey, we're not gonna compete.
You're not gonna get past the judges' table.
No, I'm gonna take Hopper and I'm going to get Harold to help me kid him out.
I think you should take like a crazy clone of a Kevin as a creation.
Kevin clone.
A Kevin
That's
clone.
a pretty good idea. Can we? All right. Can I get a clone that is like a combination of Kevin and Hopper?
Oh, boy.
Or can I ask Harold to borrow the thing that eats the Kevins?
Oh,
I might win.
Oh boy. Do I want that to happen? I don't think. Here's the problem. You wouldn't be able to get a DNA sample out of that. It would have to be something with
How do you get a DNA sample out of the machine thing, the nanobot thing?
oh, see, that's he's basically running the competition. That's why the nanobots are the baseline. Everybody knows that the nanobots could help, defend humanity. This is something. So somebody way back when said, "Well, why are we going to trust robots to save us?" And then they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's go ahead and do a competition to see if we can find something that'll defend us that's not these stupid fucking nanobots." But the nanobots are still the baseline. All right, so you're going to take Hopper. Let's get the anglerfish. That was in the crate. And then we need a Kevin Hopper abomination. Is that what we're looking for?
I think that'll work. Yeah.
All right. I am going to ask Midjourney, my AI, to give me a dark, spiky-haired emo goblin.
Seems like the way to go.
Its eyes are gonna be fucked up.
If anybody needs to take a quick bathroom break, this is going to take maybe about 2 minutes for me to get a spiky-haired emo goblin. And what's your plan when you guys get there?
We don't
Just
have one
to
yet.
check.
We're working on it.
Okay, I just
My plan's a little murder hobo-y, actually.
That was kind of where I was going to, Chris. So I'm glad you said it.
I'm gonna try to
Here's-
win the competition.
Here's Neutroid Stadium, so that you can get a good idea of the lay of the land.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm trying real hard to accommodate the GM because I don't think that going in here is actually the best plan at all. I don't think doing anything with the competition is actually the best plan. I think letting it play out and then doing them one at a time, basically handling instead of going where they're all together.
Oh, that's no fun.
It's not tactically wise to do what we're about to do. So.
That's what makes it a story. I'll give you another fate point.
I don't even have a nuke I can bring in there and set off.
Bubble would stop it anyway.
Would it? I thought that was to keep the creatures in.
It does lots of duties.
It stops nuclear fission. It's pretty cool.
Would stop it from coming inside.
Need one of those for the office.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to kill its creator.
You don't know that yet. You keep trying to.
You're like, I'm going to go out murder him.
You keep trying to tell us what good guy he is. You know, you don't know. We'll end up being like, no, the GM totally says he's a good guy, and then we'll make friends with a baddie who will ultimately end the world. Worst case scenarios, that's what'll happen. That's how it works.
Got a goblin emo, Kevin. What are you going to name it?
Goblin emo, Kevin. I want to see.
Oh, it's right here.
Looks like a kid.
Yeah. Can you put a picture of the real Kevin when you start these? How does it know what Kevin looks like? Like, what does it start like? Because I mean, I can see Kevin in.
Oh
there.
my god, it kind of looks like Kevin.
Yeah, I told you. I ain't like I got it pretty good.
I will say, it's a little tall for Kevin. It's a little tall. If it's just like 3 inches shorter, it's believable. But
He had that jacket in high school. He might still have that jacket.
I mean, it probably still fits him.
Right.
This is how I know he doesn't watch my channel. Because he would come into work and be like, God damn it.
All right. Oh, let's do some moving here. We need to move you guys off of here. Wait, did I do this? Welcome to the stadium, Jen. All right, so we've got the force field, obviously. Oh, my Detroit Stadium pin. I forgot to pack that up. Shame on me. I'm going to have to fix that. How do you guys want to get here? Do you want to get here on motorcycle? Do you want to take Hopper's box truck with your creatures in the back? How do you want to pull up to this place?
Box truck probably seems like the best plan.
Okay. So as you can see on this picture down here, there's lots of parking on either side of this stadium. But basically, there's only one way in and one way out, and it's right here. And this is where that large, rotund lady in the yellow polo is. She is sitting at a table that is perfectly bifurcated by this. Am I using bifurcated right? It is in the middle of this bubble. And let me pull out this nasty lady in a yellow polo. She is. So she's on the inside of the bubble. You guys are on the outside of the bubble.
She reminds me of someone.
Yes, it does. Who would you like to go first? This little social experiment.
We were told we needed to get DNA samples, right?
Yes.
So I got
Frank Doyle told you that.
a little vial of blood from Raza. I'm gonna walk up and say, "Hi, how can I think I'm here to enter the competition."
You guys are a little late, but we might be able to still squeeze you in. What's your name?
I'm Dr. Thomas O'Malley.
What's your creation's name?
His name is Razzo.
Let me see your ticket. You got to put it in the machine. Do you need to get unloaded? You got Razzo in a box somewhere?
He's in the truck we just came out of.
All right. You're going to take him over to the bridge over on the other side. You give him the disc that the machine shits out. You take one disc, he takes the other. You take him over to the bridge, you get him submitted. The judge's table is right on the other side of the bridge. And he has to go see the judges before he can compete.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Next.
I step up.
What's your name, sweetie? I ain't got all day.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. What's your creature's name?
This is Gavin.
Gavin.
Yeah.
Gavin.
It's a GE.
GE.
Yeah.
Gavin. Okay. You got your ticket? You put it in the machine, sweetie.
I put it in the machine.
All right.
You look especially lovely today.
Thank you so much. Give me a focus check.
Player.
Focus.
Sure.
Yes.
Is this a social skill?
Yes.
I get a +2.
Okay.
That's good. That's a 3.
Isn't charm guile?
This isn't charm. You're looking at her face when you say something nice. Underneath her skin, it moves and ripples. She is not human.
Not surprised.
It's totally not.
Give me a DNA sample.
Totally not a goal.
I give her a DNA sample.
Thank you. Not of you, of Gavin. I know you wanted to give me a DNA sample. I need your creature's DNA sample.
I give her a DNA sample of my creature.
Do you need to be unloaded?
No, he's right here.
All right. You can take him over to the bridge, sweetie. You have a good time.
I just have a creepy child goblin Kevin following me around.
I love it. Love it. All right, so the machine shits out 2 discs. You give Gavin one, and you have one, and that allows you to follow Thomas and the lion angler turtle into the bubble and over to the bridge. Next.
You didn't bring Trump's token out, so.
Oh shit! Yeah, I thought you said Hopper, and then you said Trump. Somebody said Hopper.
He said Hopper.
Yeah, that's my bad. I've got
it's okay. We got excited because the AI thing was generating a mini Kevin.
Yeah. Should have grabbed it. Trump. Anyway, what's your name? While I find Trump.
Victor.
Victor. What's your creation's name then?
Trumpet.
Trumpet. Yeah, the DNA sample.
Sure.
Let's put it in the machine, please. And it shits out 2 discs for you. Just like everybody else's. Where is Mr. Trump?
From Matt.
Ha! Found it. Objects, components, custom, figurine. There we go. There's a figurine. Browse local files. Then go to Dresden game tokens. You get Trumpet. Where'd he go?
He's right here.
Okay, good.
Works perfectly.
Over to the bridge, and you guys approach a table with 3 old gentlemen standing next to it, and they all have white lab coats and white beards, and they're all like they look in their 70s, maybe early 80s. And they say, as you walk up, they say, "All right, well, the competition's already running. The obstacle course has started. You guys are a little late, but let's go ahead and take a look at these creatures, and we'll get you in the competition. Right quick. Who's up first?"
This is Dr. Thomas O'Malley and Raza.
Save the best for last, Thomas.
Oh, sorry. These are my fellow scientists. They can go first. Dr. Malcolm.
Yeah,
All right, Gavin.
Malcolm.
Gavin, you're up. Do me proud,
Yeah.
boy. Do me proud.
All right. Hop up here onto the table. And Gavin comes up and hops over to the 3 men. And they take a look at him, and you can hear them mumbling, talking between the 3 of them. They're saying things like, his eyes would mean that he could see maybe better in the dark. And then maybe one of them says his ears are big, so he might be able to hear better. And they're writing all of this stuff down. And Malcolm, give me, it's going to be a D100. Oh, let me pull the D100 out. It's over here by the cannon. You gonna put them in the cannon to fire them? Fine.
Bye-bye.
It was an 80?
86.
86. Kevin gets a score of 86. Good job.
Gavin. Gavin. It's spelled
He's gonna win the
G.
competition. It's gonna be hilarious.
Great.
The judges give him an 86, which is that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Judges say, "Who's up next? Who's up next?"
So this is Trumpet?
Trumpet. Oh, very cool. I like his shape. His body shape. Really nice. And his coloring is interesting. Can you tell me why you did the coloring you did?
That was just a happy accident.
Oh, we've got the other guy, Mike Faraday. He said his creature was a happy little accident. That's funny. All right, we'll take a look. Give me a D100 roll.
$89.
89. Doing better than Trumpet. All right, better than Kevin. Sorry. I was writing Trumpet. Excellent. You move on. All right, who's up next?
Dr. Thomas O'Malley, Raza.
Let's take a look at this.
Rolls a 1.
Oh, is Hopper here? No, Hopper's not here.
We did not want to risk Hopper.
That's fine. That's a smart move.
I don't think they can kill this.
92.
Ooh, the judges love the lion angler turtle. Very nice. A 92. Excellent. They love it. They love how you have control over it with your light helmet. They love that it's voice commanded. They say that it will do very, very well in the upcoming competition. So you guys get added to the roster. So we have a roster here. Let me open up my notebook. So first up for you guys is the obstacle course. You'll be controlling your creatures here to do the obstacle course. And it's pretty simple obstacle course. It's here on the map. So it starts with, I think, a pit. Hold on one second. Jesus. All right, so it's a simple up and back, but it starts with high steps over tires, and then there's a short sprint, a small pit jump, another short sprint, a rope climb up a tower, a pole slide down the tower, an over-the-wall climb. You take the turn, you rope the web. It's a rope web climb. Jesus. Then there's some monkey bars, a balance beam, a chain link fence climb, and then wide bar high steps to the finish. You guys get to, say you get to the edge here of the bridge and you look down into the stadium, and there's a creature that's already on the obstacle course, and its handler, its scientific creator, is on the edge of the field commanding it, much like you would a Pokemon, I guess. So I'm going to populate the area with people, but you see this thing on the obstacle
I'll be right
course.
back.
Okay.
You can keep going. I'll listen.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm populating things around. You can see there's a man standing next to a creature that can only be described as a barrigator. Down in the obstacle course is a man made of bone. Next to him is his handler, a woman in dark sunglasses and a green, raincoat. Elsewhere in the stadium, you see who you've met before, John Kepler and his DMT-inspired machine elf without a name. You also see a red-headed woman that you recognize, Mary Cure, and her creature. They're here. They haven't really spotted you guys yet. Let's see. We've got this guy, Eddie Tomlinson, but you don't know anybody's names yet, but they're around, so you see them. Let's see. This guy. I'm just going to populate all of these so that they're around. We can see them.
You already made it back, huh? Yeah? No?
What?
She already returned from her stint in the Never.
Oh, yes, she's back. Mary Cure is back.
Resting.
Oh, he's not here yet.
Who?
Nick Tesla. You know who is here that you also recognize? Zach Newton.
Who's Zach Newton?
Isn't that the guy we shot?
No, he was the kid that you were like, you can take the same plane, and sent him to the Never Never with Mary Cure. Who am I missing?
This is like a revolving door. Jeez. I guess it's the sun after all.
All right, so that's it for right now. Yeah. All right, so down in the obstacle course, the Bone Man is running through, and let me roll for him. This is fair. He does pretty poorly. All right, so he gets to a part of the obstacle course where he's got to like climb up and then do some monkey bars across. And he reaches hand over hand for these monkey bars and just fumbles. And Bone Man falls 15 feet from the monkey bars to the ground below. Just before he hits the ground opens up. An aperture below him super fast opens up, and this Bone Man falls past the into the hole and past where the ground would be, and then the aperture closes back up, and you hear the announcer that it's Andrew Proops's voice from the radio you guys heard earlier, and he goes, "Oh, and there goes Bone Man. Another one bites the dust and goes to the pit. That's very bad for Mary Summer. That's too bad. So sad. See you next summer." And Mary Summer leaves the stadium, or not the stadium, but the grounds from the play field, I guess. And Bone Man is gone to the pits.
Victor gives Thomas a little bit of side eye and is like, "See, told you."
But that was awesome. She had a Bone Man who's doing monkey bars and then fell. Also, there's only like 10 of them left. Who gets to go first?
So you guys are on the list. Some of these have already gone.
Victor is actively wondering how participating in this is going to achieve our objective.
Yep.
So this would get you. So okay, so
because this is not convincing them not to do things. This is just participating in the very thing we told them not to do.
So Frank Doyle said that he had a plan where you guys get into the dart competition, get Riley, Bill Close, and Nick Tesla together, and then remove them from the equation. So here right now in this competition is a place where you should be able to get, you already know you got one of them out of the way, but the other two, you should be able to get them close to each other, or somewhere in this competition both of them are in this stadium. If you float around the stadium and find one of them, you'd be able to take care of them, or you can win the competition or get in top 3, and they'll be there to give you guys a trophy at the end. Nick being one of the guys that's making this competition happen.
All right, let's cover our bases. I'm going to go look for those guys. Thomas, you go win the competition. Malcolm, you do Malcolm things.
All right. I'm going to get some beer.
Sweet.
There's got to be beer here. This is like it's got to be. It's a stadium. I'm just going to go to the bar and get some alcohol.
Cool. So the nearest one is right next to Mary Cure. And you walk up. There's a guy standing behind the bar bench. And as you walk up, you notice that, God damn, this guy looks like something is wearing this guy. This guy's skin is like, it's a suit. There's something wearing skin suit. He looks weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he says, "How can I help you today?"
What do you got on tap?
Miller Lite and Bud Light.
Nothing. No microbrews. Nothing. A little more taste.
There are specialty brews in the field lounge, but up here we just have these two on tap.
How do I get the specialty brews?
Go head down to the field lounge.
All right, I head down to the field lounge.
Excellent. As you're walking away, Mary Cure, she stops you. She's standing behind you when you turn around.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? How was your trip?
I have to thank you for challenging me
Mhm.
into survival. And I want you to know that I hate you to the core.
Why would you? Okay, so I'm gonna first off, I'm gonna throw in some charm.
How's that look?
Well, obviously, I bat my eyes and toss my hair a little bit, and ask her how she's doing.
I am better now that I'm here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what did you learn?
I learned that not everything in the Never Never wants to kill us. In fact, some things in the Never Never are just happy with a partnership.
Oh, who'd you meet?
Very interesting things.
There's a lot of them down there. I was just wondering, which one did you meet? Like, did you meet my dad? Did you meet who else is there? There's a lot of Fae there. There's some awesome Fae there.
Do you know who my dad is?
Yeah, that's the second time. You know who my dad is? Oh, I've met some Fae. I've met quite a few, and had to fight to where I am right now. And if I didn't have Zach, I don't know if I would have made it. So thank you for putting him down there with me. I do appreciate the oversight.
I was kind of intending for him to stay there. I figured you'd make it out. You seem smart.
Well, Zach,
Be honest, we thought you'd be here sooner, but I get it.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know.
And
I can see you. You're standing right in front of me. You're standing right. I can see you.
She
Every
pokes you
time
in
I
the
touch her,
chest.
every time I touch her, I'm like, yeah, see, you're right here.
Yeah, she pokes you, and she's like, and you're here, which means that you're
It means
not.
you kept all your mental faculties. Excellent.
She storms off.
She'll be back.
She just huffs, puts both fists down by her side, walks straight armed. As she walks by, Frankie, her pale, tall, big-headed abomination, Frankie turns to you and he looks at you and he goes, "You're the man, the superhero."
I give my thumbs up. As she walks away, she may or may not notice. At some point, she will. There's a card in her shirt pocket. It's got my number on it.
Frankie gives you a big thumbs up and then follows after Mary.
I like Frankie.
All right, so you're headed to the field lounge.
Yeah, I'm getting some alcohol.
All right. Let's continue this scene as we'll hop around here. Who do you want to go next?
Redicus.
All right.
So Redicus is trying to get away from the crowd and find a vantage point where he can see over as much as possible. He knows who he's looking for, and he's glanced around the crowd, and he hasn't seen him yet, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there aren't that many people. I mean, the stadium's built for 80,000 or something like that, but there's only 300, so it's kind of spared seating all over the place. You can get higher to look around with binoculars or something like that, but you do see some interesting things. You see the Barrigator. You see the Happy Tree Man.
That I thought I blew up in the last session, but maybe not.
That was a different guy. This is...
Oh,
yeah.
So...
Lots of people make bear things.
Yes. Happy Tree Man was what I was talking about. But yeah.
Yeah. Happy Tree Man is this guy. You killed the Roots monster, which I can show you.
Which was Sad Tree Man.
Yes, very sad tree.
Sad Tree Man. It's totally different.
Especially
We've
when
got
he was
Bubby, which is Alexandra Graham Bell's monster, Bubby. We've got the Moose Bear. We've got Scrody here. We've got Clockwork.
We know what he was made out of.
Yep. Clockwork here is kind of like robotish. And then Scorplier, the bunny scorpion, and of course the jackalope.
Yeah, this figurine didn't come in, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Hold on, let me pull her back. Weird.
You know, we did this all wrong.
How
should have
should
tried-
we have done this?
We should have taken the plant man concept and just made a weed man who's always on fire, and so everyone around him is just happy and doesn't want to fight.
Did she come in now?
Yep, sure did.
Cool.
Is that when AI art too? Her eyes work.
She is AI, yes.
How come her eyes get to work?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because
So weird.
even Kevin's eyes are a little messed up.
Yeah.
Like one of them wraps around his head.
This one's my favorite, really. It's the Tarantuloceraptor.
Yeah, I was doing a tour earlier while you guys were doing the last scene. I was doing a little bit of a tour of all the bits.
Alright,
I
so-
tell Trumpet to jump in my pocket of holding, so he doesn't get lost.
Do you mean the Velocirantula?
Ooh, Velocirantula. That's cool too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Imagine this.
I'm gonna try to get a leverage point. Basically, I'm gonna try and find these guys using my keen intellect and investigative skills.
Can we change the moose bear to a boost?
Sure. Moose.
Scorplier? What's a scorplier? Oh, a lemur and a scorpion. No, a lemur and something else.
So that's a +8.
Ooh, excellent. This is Aristotle's Velociraptor, Carl Gauss's moose.
Velocirantula.
Velociraptula.
You should call the bear gator the baiter. It's sentient. They refer to it as master.
The baiter. Got it. Could be a beater. All right, so with your 8, there's some things that you're going to, I guess, intuit. The Tesla coils, there are 5 of them around the stadium, and they are making this bubble happen.
Mm-hmm.
There are movements around the stadium that you pick up on kind of out of the peripheral of your eye. Periphery. So anyway, what I'm talking about is every now and then running across the floor, you would think that it was like a rat at first, but instead you get a good look one time. It's a ball of nanobots, and they scurry across the ground in like dark, deep shadow areas, staying away from people's feet. But there are hundreds of thousands of these balls, and they scoot around the stadium, checking up on things, moving around, sending messages. But they move around like rats, but they're always on the periphery. So you got the Tesla coils, the rat blobs, third thing. You see Nick Tesla. He is coming down to the field with his creation as the dark competition moves. Their leader, no, they wouldn't move yet because you guys haven't gone. So Nick Tesla's, you know what? He's going to stand next to the green. And he's going to have his creature run the baseline through the maze. I think it's the next. No, I'm sorry. It's the Tower of Fire. So he's going to be on this side. Let me pop him in. And they're going to run the Tower of Fire. Ooh. So while you're cruising around looking at things over the intercoms, you hear, Nick Tesla, please report to the Tower of Fire. Nick Tesla to the Tower of Fire. And he steps out of the field lounge that Malcolm was going to, and he walks his Tesla bot out to the Tower of Fire. What else do you want to do?
I love that my +8 was like someone announced his presence. My keen investigative skills. I think I know where that guy is.
You would know. I guess you'd like, yeah, you know that he's going. He's chilling in the field lounge. That's where he would be. But by the time you get to the field lounge from this side of the stadium to that side, somebody calls him. So you would pass him in the hallway. Let's say that. But he's got this massive spider thing made out of nanobots. And it like click clacks behind him walking out of the field lounge.
Okay. I'm going to shadow him. I'm going to text the other members of the party to be like, all right, I got eyes on this one.
Awesome. So he's got to walk down this hallway from the field lounge to the green. Do you say anything to him as you're walking? You're shadowing him, so I think you're going to be sneaky, right?
I'm being.
Just want to make sure.
I'm being sneaky. I'm hoping that his little nanobot thing gets destroyed, so he's easier to dispose of. Might even happen while he's doing this.
Yeah, the unfortunate news is that he's got billions of nanobots all around the stadium. That's what the little blobs were that you saw earlier. So even if this bot got destroyed, he could just get more.
I mean, he could get more if he doesn't, like, I'm alive 1 second, next second, what the hell happened? I'm dead.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so he heads out to the ground floor of the stadium, and he brings his Tesla bot out there, and they get ready to run the tower, the fire tower. You also hear over the stadium announcement board or speakers that one of you is up next for the obstacle course. Who do you want it to be?
Are you asking me specifically, or us as a group?
I mean, you as a group. Eventually, I assume that all three of you are going to have to run it.
No, I'm just going to completely ignore it and keep Trump in my pocket and try to accomplish the mission because I don't see the point in running the obstacle course.
I'm going to put Gavin up, or I'm going to let Gavin go in. I'm actually just still drinking, but...
Okay. So, Thomas, what do you want to do?
I want to run the course.
Sweet. So you get up on the starter block. Actually, Lion Angler Turtle gets up on the starter block, and you kind of stand out there with your LED hat. The way that I saw this running was that you would basically roll its aspect on how you want it to roll this thing. So in the obstacle course, do you want it to do it hastily? Do you want it to do it smart? Do you want to force its way through each obstacle? How do you want this to go? How do you want it to run, Pokemon Master?
You said this was like a lot of agility-based things, and my angler turtle floats, so I want him to intelligently just kind of float over everything.
I fucking love it. That's perfect. All right, so roll. It's going to be an unopposed check for an intelligence, and it's going to go off of your intelligence.
That's a solid 2.
A solid 2. All right, so you're going to add 20% to your D100 roll to see what your total score is going to be. You can get better than 100%.
I got a 98.
Ooh, is that with the added 20?
That is not with the added 20.
Okay, so that's really 118, right?
Yes.
Sweet deal. All right, so tell me how this goes. Your lion angler turtle floats through all the obstacles, and it does it very, very quickly. How's it go?
It. I tell him to like be real close to the ground and use his little flippers for the first step, and then he floats up, and the audience goes ooh, and then he speeds up over things, and the audience goes ooh, and then he gets close to the ladder, he goes straight up, and instead of going up and down, he just kind of floats around it and makes it like sprints to the finish line, and oh yeah, sets a course record.
Beautiful. I love it. Who do you want to go next?
Gavin Malcolm.
Okay. Malcolm, I think that you're like stepdadding this part up, or maybe bad uncling, and you're like, Gavin, I'm gonna sit in here and drink my beer. You go compete.
Yep, that you nailed it.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll it instead of Kevin, or instead of you.
Perfect.
But what aspect do you want it to be?
I think he should go with whatever he's strongest in. So probably guile.
Fantastic.
He's a goblin, Kevin. He's got to be guiley.
Give me a D100 roll with no additional.
I don't know if I'm hoping that he wins or dies absolutely horribly.
I mean, I know
I
which
feel
one
it-
I prefer.
I feel like it's gonna win either way. That is a 33.
Fantastic. He does die. He's going to end up going in the pit. So what obstacle does he fail on? And does he go into the pit screaming?
So
Very
this is the
first
one.
step.
This is the obstacle course one.
Yes.
Yeah. So he actually dies on the first one and then bounces through 2 or 3 more before he finally flops into the pit. So it looks like he's doing great, but he's dead.
Okay.
None of which Malcolm sees.
Yeah.
Not which I see.
What do you do in your you order the microbrew or the super beer or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever they have that's strongest, little bit of kick to it.
So the bartender here at the Field Lounge he's giving off the same vibe as actually every fucking employee that you've seen here has given you the somebody's wearing a human suit vibe. And as he comes up, he looks at you and he's like, "What can I get for you today?" The micro ale. We have beautiful micro ale, and he'll give you the micro ale. Just letting you know that he's weird.
Yeah, I take the micro ale.
You want to do anything else?
Is it good? Is the micro ale good?
Yes.
I'll take 2.
Okay. He'll give you another one. It's on the house.
Thank you.
Everything is paid for by the board of directors.
Those board of directors guys are awesome, aren't they?
Don't know. Haven't met any of them.
Like ever?
I am an employee of the Detroit Stadium. He hesitates like that too and has to look down at a name tag.
You sure?
Yes, I have been all of my life.
That's probably true, isn't it?
Would you like any other beer, sir?
Yeah, I'll take a third one. This is pretty good.
He'll
So,
give you another one.
So tell me about your job here.
I serve beers to my customers.
That's it?
What more is there?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking for.
My task is to serve beer to customers.
Fair enough.
So while you're sitting here, this man, he looks like Danny DeVito, comes up, sits next to the bar. His Scorplier is behind him, behaving very well. It's just sitting there, and he orders a beer. And he's like, "I'll never get used to these guys. These guys are weird as fuck, aren't they?" It's like,
Yeah,
it's
let's
like talking to an AI, right?
Right, it is. It is like talking to an AI. I wonder. You think they're one of the creations?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's Nick Tesla's. It's IOTA. That's his robots.
Oh, gotcha. What's with the skin suit? Like, it couldn't make them fit better?
Everybody in here except us scientists. They're all IOTA robots. I guess he put them in a skin suit to make them seem less robot-y. I don't know. He's a weird guy. He's eccentric.
Clearly.
So what creature did you bring? What'd you got?
I had the Gevin.
Oh,
I
damn!
tried
Sorry
to
to hear that, man.
I tried to use goblin DNA and a child, and it did pretty good at first, but you
had an actual goblin, a real goblin.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's really cool, actually. I used an actual rabbit. You see this, and then I found bits of scorpion.
Bits of scorpion?
Yeah, just the best bits.
So like, how did you attach scorpion legs to its ears? How does it hear if its ears are also hands? Where's the tail? How does it bite?
So its back leg is also its pincer, or it's a scorpion.
Yeah, stinger.
Stinger.
Yeah. Stinger.
I'm a scientist. I know all the pieces.
Yeah. Me too.
So it rocks forward onto its ear arms, and then it can use its tail. Its tail like comes over the back of it.
I thought you said it was its legs. Its legs was where the stingers were.
Its back leg is really its stinger appendage. It can also use it as a foot, which it's.
Wait, it only has one back leg?
It can rock forward on its ear arms on the front, so it becomes a quadruped with the tail stinger.
One back leg tail.
Yeah. It moves like a.
Why wouldn't you? Why just give it two back legs with two stingers?
No, it's amazing. This is a scientific advancement. It's beautiful.
Right, but if it had two legs on the back, it'd be more stable, and it could sting twice.
Look,
Twice the sting.
It's doing really well in the competition. I don't want to hear shit from you and your Kevin thingy that failed terribly.
Kevin, he didn't fail terribly.
I just watched him fail. He failed on the third obstacle. I'm not going to take any advice from you, sir. And he's going to grab his beer and walk away.
I mumbled dick under my breath.
Who do you want to go next?
Thomas just went.
Thomas just went, but he could have. We could go to the top of the round. Anybody could go.
I don't know who's next. Like, I don't know who hasn't gone.
I think everybody went like that round, but if Redicus, I think Redicus has something planned.
I mean, I did, but I'm getting vibes that if I make a move against Mr. Tesla, bad things might happen.
Well, that's a hell of a vibe.
And I'd like to locate the other people before we do this. Also, I might want a closer look at those Tesla coils, since I've noticed all the little roly-polies around. Like, they gotta be getting energy from something, and there are these weird coils.
Very true. So, what do you want to do?
I would like to both look for the other targets and investigate the Tesla coils and check my text messages, because I sent one to the rest of the party to tell them where one of the targets were, and nobody responded.
Yeah, somebody's drinking and the other one's doing an obstacle course.
I'm done with the obstacle course, so I'll head to the location. I might grab another beer on the way though. This is not bad. This microbrew's not bad.
All right.
Does he want another investigate?
We can go off your 8 before. So, what do you want to know about the Tesla coils?
I want to know if they're providing power for all the nanobots. Like, is this energy field they're creating what's holding them all together?
Yes, it is. It is very closely related to powering and controlling them. The field. Okay, so the field is providing like a wireless energy through the stadium that they're using to communicate, but like they could also run on their own.
So shutting them off will not stop the nanobots from working.
So shutting the Tesla coils off would stop them from communicating wirelessly, and they would have to go to a different protocol, basically. They couldn't run this way, so they'd have to change. But the Tesla coils are also providing this bubble of security around, and it is also... It's being run from the wiring from a Tesla coil. It runs down to underneath the stadium.
That seems like something an investigator would want to investigate. I want to follow that wire.
Okay.
There's going to be a pit down there with a bunch of rejects.
There's a pit down there with a bunch of rejects. You go down into the underbelly of the stadium, and you're following these wires from the Tesla coils. They're big, thick fucking copper cables that are shielded and wrapped in like this like fabric almost. You're following this thick ass fucking cable down into the underbelly of the stadium, and it gets to a doorway where like the door has to prop open for this cable to snake in through the the bottom of the door. And you go to open the door and stick your head in, and this pit where they're dropping the reject creatures over between the roof of the pit and the pit itself is like a grinder machine, and down into the pit is just gore. It's black, it's red, it's lumpy, it's stinky, it's gross.
Oh.
And it's moving.
And I'm sitting here going, oh man, nobody tell Thomas what's going to happen to his thing. The cables go to this pit where the gore is, or they go around it? Is this just happens to be in the room with it, or is this the source of the power?
The cable runs directly into the pit.
Okie dokie. Is there a fire axe nearby by any chance?
Fucking look, yeah. Let's give you a fire axe.
Okay. All right, time for me to do something stupid. I want to take the fire axe and cut the cable.
Okay. All right. No warning to anybody. Fire axe to the cable.
They can operate on their own. It'll be a minor technical hitch.
All right. So you cut the cable. It takes you a few whacks. Thwack, 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 thwack. You chop through it, and there's sparks that come out as you separate the cable. It arcs through, but the cable separates, and there's this massive shudder throughout the entire stadium, and you hear a big subsonic whir from the room that this cable goes into the pit. Actually, the pit itself starts stirring.
Okay, time to be elsewhere.
Sloshes over the edge. This red arm-like structure sloshes out of the pit, and it grabs you.
I don't get to oppose that?
Yeah, give me an opposition. Do you want to force?
I'm
Can
learning.
I advise him to use fate points? All of them.
I'm learning a lot about people's GMing habits. I should.
Fate points. You use the fate points.
Huh? Only got 2 left.
I gotta tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Hey, does this thing share any resemblance to the tentacle monster that Harold has?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's this thing if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
It's 5 if I flip a fate point.
You don't need to. You'll get away from it. So it tried to grab you. But this, it's like a blood almost. It's come alive. And it's, you're gonna get out of there, right? You're running?
Yeah, my intention was to leave. Sorry, I had to stop to sneeze and cough.
Gotcha.
My intent was to cut the cable and then just walk away like nothing happened. But as soon as I see that happening, I would make that much faster.
Yep. So you come up out of the underbelly of the stadium. And who do you want to go next?
We'll let Thomas go next. He's probably in the middle of his next challenge by the time this happens.
Thomas, the stadium shudders underneath you as you are setting up your lion angler turtle to do the tower. It's actually the Tower of Flame. So this challenge is supposed to be pretty simple. Your creation is supposed to go to the top of the tower and rescue a analog of a human being that's 4 stories up, and there's a fire on the top 2 that your creature would have to get through and save the analog and bring the analog back down.
Yeah. I say, Mr. Angler Turtle, I want you to float outside, go to the window, and beckon them over to the window, have them jump on your back, and we'll float on down.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that. Go ahead and give me that's another guile, right? Or do you want to use intelligence? It's pretty smart moves.
Yeah, we can do intelligence. You don't want to trick somebody to save their own life. Oh, what a roll. That's a 3 intelligence.
Sweet. All right. So yeah, you're gonna add 3 to your 10s dice for your D100.
Oof. That's a 35. They did not like that one. The human analog did not comprehend very well, so he panicked and just shot his turtle mouth into the scene and picked him up. Caught him a
Ooh,
little.
okay. Caught him in the flesh to pull him out of the window away from the fire.
Yep, saved him from the fire, but he's bleeding a lot.
Pulled him through the window.
Love it. All right, so the other problem is that as your angler turtle was floating up there, the stadium shudders again, and this is the point where Redicus had chopped the cable, and the tower moves after the stadium shudders. It moves left, right, and wiggles, and then a large crack appears right to the right of that tower, and it goes all the way down the middle of the stadium. But your anglerfish got the analog. And it brings it down. The analog's not screaming or crying, it's bleeding, but it's bleeding nanobots. It is another person in it's a skin suit. It's a iota bot in a skin suit. And as the angler brings it down, it goes, "Thank you, you're my hero." Clap, clap. And it gets to the ground and it says, "You have done very well." It
pats it on its head. It's missing a massive chunk out of its side. And as it walks away, it looks at you and gives you a thumbs up.
I'm halfway between like going over to try to fix it because like that's where I got a little bit, but at the same time, I'm not sure what to do. And there's a big crack coming down. I'm also trying to wave to the crowd like I did well, but nobody's looking back because there's now a giant crack.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big deal coming up next time. Who do you want to go next as a reactionary thing?
Malcolm's next.
Malcolm, I think, right? Yeah.
So there's a crack.
Yeah, stadium's shuttering a bunch. You're still drinking a lot, but yeah, there's a crack that just appears. It doesn't just appear; it just rips through, like the middle of the obstacle course, all the way from one side of the stadium to the other.
I'm gonna cry interference. Try to get the scientists riled up and think that something is being done to them unfairly.
You know what I forgot?
No, I don't.
I forgot that the bubble dies as soon as that cable's cut. Can I get the bubble? Give me your bubble.
That was like the whole point of all those lines of questions.
Yeah, my bad. You should have reminded me. I'm trying to run this thing. I can't get the bubble. All right, bubble's dead though.
Just kind of assume that I was wrong about the whole thing the whole time because, like, none of my plans this session have worked out even a little bit.
I was gonna have all the Tesla cables have cable, or all the Tesla coils have cables, and I was like, why not cut them all? There we go. There's the die bubble. There we go. But this all just, I railroaded you to the monster coming out of the middle of the stadium. It was all for this, because that was Kizik's dream.
Question: Can I find?
It kind of looks like Kizik.
Ouch.
I thought it looked kind of
Can
cute.
you find the what?
Marie? The lady?
Find the
Yeah,
what? I'm sorry?
he's looking for the redhead.
Redhead.
Mary Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's way over on the other side of the stadium, but you could try to find her.
Yeah.
All right, that's your plan?
Mhm.
To find her.
Mhm.
Okay. Who do you want to go next?
Thomas?
Oh, Thomas, you're still down here.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump on the back of the angler turtle.
Love.
I'm going to point to the rest of the crowd. I'm going to say, if you guys are here to defend humanity, we have to all work together and defend against this. I don't even know what it is, but it needs not to be here. And then I'd like to. Oh man, where did one of my invokes? Then I would say to Amithril, I'd say, grant me your voice as I shouted fire into existence onto the blood golem that's coming out at us.
Nice.
He could have been nice, though. Maybe. I shouldn't be attacking him. Let him talk first. As fire comes towards him.
So are we still playing it so that we don't have to flip fate tokens to do invokes?
Oh, stunt versus an invoke? I don't know. Can you just do stunts?
I was asking the GM because he was initially using invokes without flipping tokens, and I thought I might be the
Some
only
invokes
one.
are free, some aren't. I don't know how to tell the difference.
I've
Usually the
I've just been flipping the tokens every time. That's why I have so few of them. Sorry, it just threw me off. I just wanted to see.
Yeah, I know some of them. Like if you're using it against somebody, I think it's a fate token. But if you are just using it for a scene setup,
Unless you
It's
create,
free.
like, if you create advantages.
yeah,
That's
if you
different.
create an aspect and then invoke the aspect, I don't think you have to pay a fate token.
Correct. I usually just let the GM tell me.
So it's super weird and doesn't make any sense. If that makes any sense.
No, it didn't make sense. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Remember, this is a purely narrative game, and it helps just to narrate what you want to do.
So I'm now floating on the back of an angler turtle, pointing a sword at a pile of blood that is coming towards me, and fire is coming out of my mouth onto its back for a shift of +5.
I love it. So this blood golem used the crack in the ground to basically wave blood up into the air, and this geyser of blood that was going to attack Thomas, but is now getting a face full of fire. So Thomas got a 5, and it is going to take a bunch of it. Oh yes, it takes all 5. Full shift. Awesome. Thomas, who do you want to go next?
Radicus.
All right. He's gonna come out of the tunnel that he was in. Totally didn't just cause all this mayhem. Nobody can prove it. See everything that's going on. He'll probably catch the tail end of Thomas's, rally the troops speech. He's gonna take a look around to gauge how everyone's reacting to it. And he's gonna see if he can spot Mr. Tesla and see what he thinks of this thing crawling out of here is.
So Tesla is staring wide-mouthed at this thing. He's got his Tesla bot kind of doing like this defensive pose over him, but both of them eyes locked on this blood golem that's erupting out of the ground of the stadium. So right now they are, if this was all in turn combat order instead of fate system, he would be losing a round.
Okay. So this is not something that Tesla thought was going to happen.
Correct.
I guess we're going to attack the big monster in the middle. Truthfully, I expected the other big bads to come jumping out of the wall, and they haven't.
The other big bads.
Yeah. We're here for 3 people. I haven't lost sight of the mission here. I mean, this thing has to go. But,
You've killed Bill Close, and you haven't seen Riley yet.
oh, he's the
When
action.
do we kill Bill?
The smoke.
He was
monster
a
at
smoke
the
monster at the beginning. I just didn't think that was actually going to kill him.
I shot him into the sun.
Yeah, he's done.
Okay, well,
That's a good way to narratively take care of a big bad.
time to liberal application of firepower.
Well, I'm about to shoot a blood monster into the sun. I haven't figured out how yet, but I'm gonna.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have shut off those Tesla coils if you wanted to do that, because you could have siphoned power from them.
I mean, that power still exists.
Mm-hmm. It's only a +4 for me. As I whip out my pistol and start shooting. I don't know if it actually does any damage to this thing.
+4. Let's see. Could you do it? You don't. But you could have. So your bullets, you'll see, are
they're hitting the blood, and they're like, making like impact ripples. One of the ripples comes across. This thing's got multiple eyes, and one of your ripples definitely affects the eye, and it starts twitching. You may
Ooh.
have just found a weakness.
I was about to say, shoot for the eyes.
Yeah. Who do you want to go next?
Malcolm is not gone yet, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's gonna be Malcolm.
All right. So do I find Marie?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna ask her if this is a good time for her to prove she's here to help humanity and help me take that thing out because I'm pretty sure that's bad.
Yeah, I think that thing's here to kill everybody.
What's it even from?
I have a theory, but I don't know. There's some still pieces missing. I'm gonna have to figure out. But the pit. Oh God, the pit is mixed of blood from all of the creatures that have died. If any of it got Frank Doyle's Fanta Black in there, and then a bunch of electricity ran through it, there's no telling what could have happened. But maybe this is probably what happened. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just
So
a theory.
that makes sense. It's weird. It's almost like you knew what that was because God told you. So
Sure.
any idea on how to take it out? Like I can hit it with a hammer. Like, we both know that, and I'm pretty sure your buddy here will help me. But I don't know if that's gonna work. And it's just a. You think lightning would do it, or is that just gonna make it more powerful?
We don't know until we try.
All right, let's do some lightning then. I'm gonna hit it with some lightning.
Sounds like a plan.
And then I'm gonna, as I do that, I'm going to charge, and I'm gonna tell Mode Man to come with me.
You mean Frankie?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Shooting some lightning. We got a 6.
Oh, that's not bad. Sweet. See what the table does. All right, so your lightning strike, just like one bolt out of the sky, right? That's what you're trying here.
More like throw the hammer. The lightning comes out of the hammer, and then we follow the lightning down.
When you say we, you're taking Frankie to ride the lightning with you?
Yeah. I'm sure he'd be in for that.
Okay. So,
My number one fan right now.
do you move when you do this? You ride the lightning up to, like, you gotta just tell me where you're gonna end up here.
I'm gonna land in front of it somewhere.
But back down on the ground?
Yeah. The goal is to get closer to it, so that I'm a better target than, say, the less innocent scientists that we weren't going to kill.
Okay. All right, so your lightning bolt goes, your hammer throws, and then the hammer projects the lightning bolt that then you ride. Is that right?
So I go to throw the hammer, but instead I throw a lightning bolt from the hammer, and then the hammer goes with the lightning bolt.
Gotcha. Okay.
It makes sense in my head. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense in my head.
I understand.
We would be awful at an audio podcast thing. We just don't describe shit very well. All right, so you actually do a shift of damage with this lightning bolt.
Yeah.
It does ripple out, blows some blood off to the side, maybe gets on you and Frankie, and you can tell that the lightning does do damage to it.
All right.
Who do you want to go next?
I
think that's the end of the round, though, right? All right, so I'm going to make the end of the round all of the scientists are going to go. So, screaming over the edge of Neutroid Stadium is a 10-legged, what are we calling it? Velociraptor. The DMT machine elf gets in there. The Tesla bot gets in there. The Baiter gets in there. Happy Tree Man gets in there. I mean, basically all of these creations do what they're supposed to do and immediately react to destroying the supernatural threat. They all jump on this thing and they all do various damages and attacks. Like the Baiter goes over and chomps on it. The Velociraptor climbs up on it and then starts taking bites out of it. Everything does a little bit different thing. The DMT elf, I don't even know what the fuck that thing would do. It seems to be doing damage to it. It's fucking crazy. It's all hectic.
It's psychic damage.
Yes, there you go. It's psychic damage. All right, so I'm going to roll all this stuff out. It's not going to take very long. Just want to make sure as a team that they do poorly. Oh, God. Okay, top of the round. I want Victor Redicus to go. Nick Tesla's not being protected by his thingy anymore.
This big thing in the middle
The golem?
is got all these things in it. And my notes say I still have this bomb that was mailed to me last season in my pocket.
Well,
I think I want to feed that to this thing. So I'm going to run in as close as I can get to it. And I don't know how close that is and what kind of obstacles I'm going to be dealing with, but yeah, that's the thing. And I'm going to pull out this package. And as I run right past Malcolm, he's going to see me with this package.
I'm going to try to toss it into the golem.
I think I need to.
I do see Redicus's package.
And that's right.
I confirm.
Mm-hmm. It's
a large package.
It's going to be
I've seen bigger, but it's a big package.
It's going to have some. It's going to be an exploding package.
Most of them are.
Yeah, right. But I'm going to need to rearm this thing. Oh, I'm going to blow myself up. I got a 2 on that.
All right. With your 2, how about?
I am not winning tonight. I should have just gotten a beer and watched.
Worked out pretty well for me.
I know. Like,
All right, so we can do this one of 2 ways. One, the bomb, you throw it into the goop. It's armed, but it's armed for like 2 minutes. Or you can realize this round that you won't be able to arm the bomb for like a quick explosion. And then maybe reset, do something different. But with that 2 and the bomb, just pulling it out of your pocket, I think it was armed for like 3 seconds, wasn't it? So the other option is to have like just 2 damage due to this thing. That's up to you on how you want it to go down.
I wrote it as it was on the brink of exploding.
Yeah.
I did not put a time on it.
It was pretty short. I remember.
Yeah, I think
don't
it
remember
had
what
like
the time was.
3 or 2 seconds left on it or something like that. I mean, we could just do straight up damage to the side of this thing if you want to throw the bomb at it. It would go up to a shift of 8, and it would blow a bunch of blood backwards. It's really goopy.
How about this? Can we have it so that I throw it, and it's not technically armed, but a shot would detonate it? So if one of us were to shoot it, that would make it go off. Or if someone were to hit it with, a lightning bolt or something, it would go off.
Okay, yeah, so it's stuck in the side of this thing, just
Yeah.
floating on the outside of it. I
Yep.
like that. That's cool.
And that
Cool.
way, it's not a failure. It's not a success. It's not, it's something that the party can take advantage of. Because I
Absolutely.
apparently can't roll for shit.
All right, so we're gonna make it an aspect. I'm gonna pull an aspect card, and it's gonna say bomb, pimple bomb. No, bomb pimple. I don't know.
It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. Cool. Who do you want to go next?
Thomas.
Thomas is floating overhead. He feels kind of proud that everybody else has jumped in. All of the monsters are attacking the big thing. He's going to float around to the backside, and he's going to not invoke because that's not the right word. He's going to use his stunt of "May your will be done" as he hits his chest, and his armor gets thinner as holy light comes out, and you see the big justice from Amithril as it grants hopefully down on top of the monster.
Let me roll. Do you want the bomb to go off?
No, I'm attacking the monster itself. I got a +6.
Ooh. Okay, big boy. That's it's pretty painful for this guy. It's reacting to your power specifically very differently than other things that are physically fighting it and hurting it. You and the DMT monster apparently are doing a shit ton of damage. Yeah. So that hits and does damage. It ripples out. The blood kind of congeals and coagulates where it got hit, and doesn't start. I mean, it doesn't move like the rest of it. It's not as like a free flowing goop anymore. And it screeches. Pain. Who do you want to go next?
Malcolm's next.
Okay.
Yeah, so I see the bomb sticking out the side of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm going to blast that. I'm going to use. I'm going to take some stress to enhance this one.
Enhance.
Yeah, I can use stress the way wizards use their the two things they get.
Enhance.
Mm-hmm. Like it's like putting power into it.
Okay. So you're fueling this lightning strike with all your balls.
Yep.
Okay. You're putting some cojones behind the strike. Roll it. And you're aiming for the bomb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
So you can use the aspect. You have to invoke this aspect of Eats a Bomb.
Okay. What does that add to it?
Redicus, that was a 3, right? Or a 2. It was a 2? It was a 2. You can add 2.
It was
Alright.
2 when I did it.
Yeah.
So we got
Eats
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we're at 9.
Beautiful. The bomb goes off and it blows this thing in half. Half of it goes to the left and half of it goes to the right, and it just pours goop down. There's just viscera and blood and gore just raining everywhere.
It makes
is
squelching noises.
Yeah. There's definitely squelching noises. Everybody is coated in viscera.
And lightning.
And lightning.
Don't forget the lightning hits it too.
Oh yeah. So a big lightning strike and then explosion happens and it dies. gone. And Thomas on your angler turtle and Redicus on your side, you see a familiar yellow glow. You've seen it once before. It flashes in, and it's like a circle of yellow light. And out steps from behind the circle the scientist you saw earlier today, Riley. I'm gonna pop him in here. Sick. And it's one of your targets. Yeah. And he pops through the portal and he looks at Nick Tesla and he says, I would have won, Nick. The golem would have won. It would have wiped the floor with you. Except that these assholes are... Who are these guys? They're not even Cyber Sucha.
Oh, it's that guy.
We're kind of out of combat, so anybody who wants to go. You have two of your targets here, Nick and Riley. The blood golem's gone. Everybody's kind of distracted with the blood and viscera of raining down on everybody. And you got Razzo, the lion angler turtle, floating here. Victor Redicus is here, and Malcolm's even on this side.
Uh-huh. I think we're going to initiate combat again.
Can I tell Razzo to make his flashy lights and try to get Raleigh to stare at him?
Yeah. It's a nice touch. I like that. So, your angler turtle tries to do a light show on Riley. Roll it up. I think that's a flare. Just tell me what your dice end up saying.
My dice say +3.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay. Riley seems to be hypnotized by this. The yellow portal at his feet is still open. And beyond its horizon, you can see like a build, like you're in a room basically. But it's mesmerized by the flashing lights of the lion angler turtle. What's next?
Oh, that's my turn. I think he's going to get hit with a hammer. But I got a hungry lion angler turtle right here.
I mean,
Eat it.
yeah, you can eat his head.
Yeah, eat his head.
He's standing there mesmerized at the lion angler turtle.
Is that a force roll? Or does that just happen?
You can just make that happen if you want that to happen.
My force roll was up +6, but yes, I would like his face off.
His face is off. The angler turtle launches its neck out towards it in a flash and bites Riley's head completely off. As its neck retracts into the lion angler turtle, we kind of assumed that there was going to be a spurt of blood and the inside of a body, but it's the same kind of look that analog looked like. Riley's insides look like nanobots.
Knew it.
I tell Razzie to spit it out.
It spits it out. And Riley's body flops and goes back into the portal. Portal stays open. Who's next?
You want this, Malcolm?
Yeah.
I suspect lightning will work on nanobots.
I'm hoping. Come on, Frank. We jump through the portal.
What? You and Frank are going in the portal? Your target's here. Nick is here.
But Riley's the bad guy.
Riley's made of Nick Tesla's nanobots.
Oh, so you're okay. I misunderstood. All right, come on, Frank. We're not jumping through the portal. We're gonna kill Nick.
I should have let you jump through the fucking portal. Oh my god.
I misunderstood. I actually thought that Nick was Riley was the bad guy and that he framed Nick. I read that all wrong. My bad.
I'm a bad GM. I've probably handled this all wrong. But yeah.
I mean, I've been playing on Photoshop. I've probably missed something. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just Frank and I are gonna beat the shit out of Nick.
Good call.
We're going old fashioned.
While he's doing that, I am going to be trying to position myself behind him. But I don't want to be in the way. That's my main thing.
Okay, so just so everybody's aware, these Tesla bots are still up.
Oh yeah, you should probably concentrate on that thing.
So I hit him good.
What'd you get?
That is it's 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10. I'm double checking I didn't miss one. Looks like 10.
What are you hitting him with?
My hammer.
How does he die?
Can I cut him in half with a hammer from the top down?
You can do whatever you want. You explain to me how Nick Tesla dies.
I'd like to put his head through his feet.
His head go through his feet. There's not even any blood. How?
Is there no blood because there's no blood?
Yeah, I'm just being an ass right at this point. Yeah, he's just blood and guts. He's dead. He's done. Dunskies. Nick Tesla is a smoosh on the floor. Your hammer top to bottom, head through feet, dust to dust.
All right. Well, that's over.
Yeah, and these Tesla bots, they turn and immediately they start swarming the three of you. Unless, hold on.
Poor Frank's here.
Yeah, Frank is here. Is that the end of the round, or did Victor not go? Did Victor go?
Victor did not go.
Okay, you get to go.
You got one of those EMP grenades? Because that seems like a good idea right now.
I don't. I really thought you were going to call down lightning and get rid of them, and that I was going to stab the organic guy that I could kill, but you slightly misinterpreted that.
Yeah, I misread that situation real bad.
And you did kill the shit out of this guy, which, golf clap.
He's dead.
Except for,
dead.
I don't think I can kill these things, but I'm going to give it the good old college try.
Oh, wait, here. You can borrow my old taser.
I'm just going to shoot these things and assume that I have some sort of EMP style round because I'm a paranormal armor, and obviously I would have super cool shit like that.
Sure, if you narrate it, put it in the story, it's there.
Hold up. In the past, I have had shotgun rounds that shot tasers.
Oh, that's true.
Would have those because I got them from him.
That's true.
That's true.
Yep.
100%.
Which is fortunate because that makes it a +6 against giant Tesla monster thing.
All right, so the electricity crackles through the nanobot swarm, and its crab-like appearance fizzles, and it just falls motionless to the floor.
Oh, shit! I thought it was gonna like disassemble into 1,000 tiny little bits like dust.
Hey, can I go next?
It just disassembles into 1,000 tiny bits like dust.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
I'd like to use my hammer storm to magnetize, collect, and send that into the sun.
Okay. You send the Tesla bots to the sun.
Yeah.
That is how you kill replicators. None of you know what that means, but that is how you do it.
I know what replicators are.
Okay, so over the next 10 minutes, let's discuss how you want to handle the rest of these scientists, because basically they're going to have their creatures defending them if you want to fight, but they would much rather leave this situation, go back to their lives, that whole thing.
You're pretty much going to offer them like a one-time pass, which is, as long as your monsters don't kill things that are human, or as long as your monsters don't harm for no reason, I think we're good. But if you go around killing people or things that don't need to be killed, you're probably going to have to answer to us.
Yeah, understood. Mary Summers skipped out because she didn't have a creature, and then the rest of them agree.
I give Frank my business card. Let him know to call me if he's ever in town again. I wink at Mary.
Yeah, she's furious with you. Her and Zach Newton leave together.
Yep.
Zach with Scrody. And
I give Mary the call me sign.
She flips you the bird.
That's how you know she's into it.
Did you see that? She just said "fuck me." Get it? All right, so you're gonna let the rest of them go, in so much as they cannot harm other people with their creatures.
Not just people, like people in the broad sense.
Yes,
no vampire hunting of vampires that aren't actually bad.
Right. Okay.
And tell them to make sure they ship things properly.
Yeah, accidental deaths will be considered, bad.
Okay. Cool.
There's still a yellow hole in the ground. Do you guys want to go through that now?
Oh yeah. I was gonna go through that earlier, but yeah, we can go through that now.
So, what do you want to do with Lion Angler Turtle? Is he coming with you through the portal?
Does he fit?
He can.
Then yeah. This is my new motorcycle.
That makes sense. You can whistle it up too.
So fucking cool. Oh man. All right. The body of Nick Tesla's dead and way over here. Mary's gone. All right. I do not have another map for this yet, but you guys go through the portal and you are in a laboratory in a very high elevation. I'm just gonna tell you, it's the Rocky Mountains that you guys are in. I think Frank Doyle said something earlier about Riley having a lab in the mountains when he was talking to you. So this is his mountain laboratory. This is Riley. The portal, the yellow portal that you guys fall through, is actually on the floor of his lab. So you guys come up and like gravity's kind of weird, but you get to the other side and you're on the floor of his lab. There's gadgets and gizmos everywhere. But the main thing that you guys see is Riley. He is there and he is disheveled. He is in handcuffs and he is handcuffed to his desk where he's hunched over and working on a laptop. This Riley, though, you see him, he doesn't have a left arm and he doesn't have the robotic arm on his back. But this is unmistakably the same Riley. At least looks like Riley.
Oh, Thomas, I'm going to let you handle this one.
I pull my sword and I go, hold on.
Wait, Thomas, I meant with words. Holy shit, man. You've been hanging out too much with me.
He's just,
He's handcuffed.
To be fair, it was my first thought too.
Don't kill me, please. Please don't kill me. He's shuddering away from you guys. He can't move away from his desk too much because he's handcuffed to it. But he goes, "Who are you? Are you with the science? Are you with the cyber sutra? Are you?"
We kind of broke them up.
Are you with Nick Tesla?
Wait, how do you not recognize Thomas?
Yeah, we used to be in the board of directors together. I say as I sing and cut his handcuff in half.
Hello, O'Malley. O'Malley, right? I remember you. You were here not here, but we met at the board of directors meeting a long time ago.
Yeah, you kind
He
of
literally
scared
just
me.
said that. But
I'm sorry. Do you have any water? Do you have any? He looks like shit, man.
I hand him my flask. It's not water.
Oh God.
But it'll feel much better in a minute.
He's having a hard time like keeping it in his mouth. It's harsh for him.
Oh yeah, it is.
Mistreated.
That's the good stuff. Don't waste it.
Did you make these portal things?
I invented the fluids. Yes, they're portal. it's
portal juice?
Science that I could explain, but it would take forever.
Yeah.
You paint a portal on the ground, you walk through it, you come out where the other portal's painted.
It's actually shot out of
bottles.
his gun.
Yeah.
It's shot out of a gun.
Yeah, like a paintball gun.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all played the game, man.
Right. Well, I made it for real.
That's pretty cool.
Does it have do you know how everything works behind it, or are you using some unknown black string stuff?
It's all math. I can prove it. It's all math. But that's my problem. I invented it, and then that bastard Nick Tesla imprisoned me here. He stole my invention, and he's been using it to run the town, or really the world. I don't know what he's been doing.
He lost his head, huh?
What?
He lost his head. It was a pun. I just took his head off. Well, technically, I pushed his head through his feet. But it's the same difference. It's a pun.
He rocks backwards, and he says, Nick Tesla's dead. Is that what you're telling me?
Unless he can survive having his head pushed down through his body and out of his feet, he is dead.
What about Iota? What about his invention, his nanobots?
I sent it to the sun.
Oh my God. I love you. And he gives you a big old hug.
Well,
It's only one-handed.
I give him a hand.
He used to have a crocodile hand. It's gone now.
Hey, I go through the portal, grab the old body, and come back. And is one of these your hands?
So when you go through the portal into the stadium, the nanobot Riley is disappeared, but his pieces, like the crocodile arm and the robotic tentacle arm, are there.
Right, I bring those back. I'm like, maybe you can use these?
That's my stuff. Oh my God. This is... Who are you, men? Who are you guys? I know you, Thomas, but who are you?
I'm Malcolm.
And you?
Victor. And weren't we both there at the meeting thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were there. He's been captive for a while. He's obviously a little addled. And these sciencey guys aren't all that, solid to begin with.
It's been 6 years since I've seen you guys, and I saw you for one meeting. I don't remember everybody, and especially after 6 years of torture.
You don't have to be rude about it. Jeez, man.
I'm sorry. It's been a while.
We saved you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I gave you a hug. I'll give you guys hugs.
I mean, technically, you gave me half of a hug.
Yes. Well, now I have the crocodile arm. I'll give you a whole hug. Here, come here. And he gives you a whole
Wait, you
hug.
just attach it like that? Wait, can you attach and detach that quickly? That's awesome.
Yes, it's a crocodile.
That's an
Thank
arm.
you. It's a crocodile arm. Yes. So anyway, I appreciate you helping me out here. Have you seen the portal guns?
Have we seen the portal? Yeah, we just went through a portal.
Well, where's the gun?
No idea.
Oh, you mean, do we know where it is? Because I was going to say, yeah, we've definitely seen it before. We have no idea where they are.
Oh, well, shit. I'm gonna start looking around then. And he's looking around for a while and doesn't find them. Did you guys see? They weren't up there with. How did the other Riley? He used the portal he got up there, and then now he's.
His body disappeared, so but I mean those parts were left behind, so I don't I don't know. It sounds like maybe we're gonna have to deal with that again later.
Fuck.
Pretty much, that's what I said. But I got your arm back, so I feel like that's it's not the end of the world.
Well, I appreciate your help.
And all the other scientists have agreed to not kill people, so that's good. Do you have a database with all their names and numbers, addresses?
At the board of directors, yes.
Sweet. That'll be useful later when we have to kill them all.
He's joking. We're not going to have to kill them all. I'm sure one or two will listen to the rules.
I mean, we're not going to kill Mary. She's pretty cool.
You just want to bang her.
I think he wants to double team her with that big thing.
I mean, I'd let him watch.
Oh my god.
Mary!
Frank and I are going out for drinks later.
All right, so what do you want to do with Riley, and how do you want to end?
His life?
Yeah. Do you want to end his life? Is that how you want to do it?
No.
No. Good God, we're not monsters.
Yeah, we are.
I think yeah. Well,
I feel like he indirectly caused a lot of people to die.
indirectly, yes, and to fit your rule there.
I mean, we said
He's gotta go.
one time pardon. That's what we said.
Yeah,
That
but he
was
wasn't
covered.
there to see that.
Yeah, but still covered. We're not killing him. The dude's been captured for 6 years. At
You
least
should
let
let
him live for a couple days before we put him down.
Is Trump doing okay in your pocket there, Redicus?
Yeah, I suppose. I'm glad I didn't let him fall into that bat now.
We should, you know what? I think I can solve this. We should bring Riley to Harold for employment. Doesn't he have that thing he was talking about the other day? The some corporation or agency he's got. They do sciencey stuff.
Titan.
Yeah, Titan. That's what it was. Thanks, God.
Do you think Riley and Harold would get along?
I mean, I feel like at this point, Riley could get along with anyone. He is not the same man. He's
Also-
a broken shell.
Also, Harold's not going to leave him much of a choice but to get.
Yeah, there's that. Like, what's the worst that happens? He dies? We don't kill him, so it's not murder on us.
Right. Okay. Gonna bring Riley to Harold. That's an idea. I like it. And you let all the other ones live. Chong died. That was sad. Okay. Well, let's call it there. And what'd you think?
What about the lady in yellow?
Yeah, the lady in yellow. I was waiting for somebody to say something. She made it out.
I might have missed her. What was that?
She's the lady at the gate. Well, she's probably a ghoul, but something like that.
She was definitely nanobots.
Yeah, I know the nanobots survived because, Riley's body, and we didn't get them all. And most likely, Nick had some kind of a tactic to send his mind into the nanobot swarm.
Ooh,
I mean,
that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, sure. Like, you didn't think of that already.
I actually hadn't thought about that. I was just gonna end it here. I mean, Nick is gone. The bots are gone. There's lots of other things in New Troy that have to be dealt with.
Yeah. That doesn't mean they won't come back. That's why you got to send things into the sun.
Send it to the sun.
I made you art for Frank, by the way.
Oh, okay. A Frank or Frankie?
Yes.
Gotcha.
We're going out for drinks after.
You do need art for Frank, though.
Where'd you put it?
In Ghost 20 Modern
Oh, okay. Oh,
With,
nice.
with all the art I did for Hale.
I see the Hale guy.
Yep.
He looks
He's got
badass.
he's got his first transform and then his second transform. That's when he gets really angry and his skin turns icy.
Oop, that didn't work.
So I'm guessing he's winter.
Hmm?
I'm guessing he's a winter court individual.
No, he's a frost giant. Well, he's a scion of a frost giant.
I'm trying to get him in here, and it's not letting me. Weird.
On a couple new filters I played with.
All right, there he is. Frank. All right. Are we still recording?
You ready? to,
Oh, what'd you guys?
end it?
What'd you guys think? Or you can tell me off air. It doesn't matter. We can end it there.
So next time, Edge of the Empire, next Saturday at 8.